the end of the year, and it's time to talk about those top 10 games, man. It's You would think that like a lot of shit came out this year. Not a lot of shit really came out. Stuff is limited though.
I thought it was a
Uh,
pretty decent year, man.
I mean, it was okay, but not. It was nothing like was promised in 2021. Like that shit, the shit that we saw in 2021 that was supposed to come out in 2022 was about to be bananas. We kept saying that at the end of the year, like 2022 is gonna be like crazy gaming. I'll be broke as shit. I'm still broke as shit. I just don't got games to show for it. So
Yeah.
it's tough. But there's a few things to talk about on the list. But before we get into all of that, Sir Knight, you know, uh, what have you been playing this week, bro?
Dude, just primarily God of War, man. Like
Yeah.
that
Okay.
game is like crazy long, dude.
It's a lot of stuff that you gotta
Like
that
I'm
you gotta
kind
look
of
for
getting
and hunt.
burnt on it.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, like I'm at the point where I think I'm just gonna start plowing through to get to the end.
Yeah, that's
Like,
that's funny that you say that because I was talking to my cousin a couple of days ago, and I was asking him what he's been playing or whatever, and he was like, "Shit, man, I'm just trying to finish off this God of War." So it almost sounds like it's a task
dude,
instead of like, "Oh yeah, I'm just enjoying God of War, playing the shit out of it." You know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to finish this motherfucker off so I can move on to something else. So it's interesting that you say that because it
yeah,
does seem like it's a
it's
lot
a
of things, and
task,
I've I
bro.
haven't even I haven't even like gotten into like the meat of it. You know what I mean? So like I know there's I got the hint that there's like the crucibles or whatever that you got to fight through all of those different waves and rounds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
trying
trying
to.
to do the crucibles, but like I haven't figured out a strategy to like really knock them out yet. Like I
Mm,
did the kill enemies in a time limit, and I did kill enemies without getting damaged.
yeah.
I did those, but like the one where I gotta throw dudes off the ledge, like that was getting a little hairy. So I gotta
Okay.
figure out like an ability that throws dudes off the edge a little better.
Yeah.
Um, and then I haven't played the other ones yet, but dude, there's a few things that like okay, so the game is like awesome, of course, like
Hmm.
it's a really incredible game. But there are a few things, man, that like are a little annoying, dude. Like I think like it's pretty hard, dude, to like find weapon upgrades. Like I actually have to use the dodge now, bro. in your game. Like I
Yeah.
have to actually use the dodge now.
Just in case you guys don't know, this is Orla Wende that he's playing right now. So this
Like
is like the updated, this is like the finished game for right now. I gotta get funding to get more of it going and
like
whatnot.
I
But I'm gonna
actually am
keep like
like
this.
having a hard time here. Look at this, dude. There's lots of shit flying at me.
Yeah, there is. And then also
Do these dims disappear? Are they on a timer?
they do, yeah, they're on the timer.
I
So
don't know
you're
how I feel
asked
about
out if you
that,
don't
man.
grab them soon.
I don't know how I feel
Um
about that.
Also, if you hit, I think it's escape or like pause. I think it's escape. Hit escape real quick. All right, so you see there,
Oh, this is the
all of
shop
your
once I
yeah.
find
This is the
it.
shop, so you have everything that you can pay for, but you got to stack up dims in order to get that. So you got to move quick. When you're shooting, you can't just shoot from afar and hope to be able to stack up. You got to keep moving. You got to get in. You got to get close to personal, man. Use that dodge, dude. Get in there and
Yes,
grab those
yeah, man.
dims. But yeah, man. So I've definitely been enjoying God of War. That's what I've been playing as well. I was playing quite a bit of High on Life.
Oh, you
But
were playing quite a bit of that.
yeah, yeah, man, that game
Wait,
is
how much of
great.
God of War have you played?
I got to the point where damn, I'm forgetting what the head's name is. Um
Premiere?
Yeah, yeah, Namir. When you go to the dwarfen city that's on the water or whatever,
Uh
and
huh.
he has the smoke with the smokestacks
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
he's
You're
feeling
taking down his
guilty
oil
about.
rigs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking down those oil rigs. So I just finished that last one, and then I think he's got like a there was like an island, one of the first ones that you went to, and there was a gate that was locked, and you said you needed a key, the watchtower key or something.
Yeah.
So I just got the watchtower key, and I was talking to that one dwarf, Derlin or something like that. That was that used to work with Kratos' wife or whatever. So yeah, so I was just going through that area and whatnot. So yeah, it was cool. I've been playing it, and then you know,
Yeah, like
before that I was playing High on Life. I really enjoy High on Life, but the problem that I have is the language, and like I can't have my kids in the room with me while I'm playing it
right.
because it's just it curses up a
Wow,
storm.
yeah.
So like literally I can't play it when they're in the room with me. So like if they're playing Roblox or something like that, it's like, all right, cool. I can play some High on Life, you know what I mean? And I'll play some, but if they come in the room, I gotta stop. So like
You
I
like
played.
it, bro?
What happened?
You like High on Life?
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. It's got good puzzles, good platforming. You know what I mean? The comedy in there is good. Like it's I'd say it's like just as good as like Bethesda comedy, maybe a little bit better.
So
Um
once I get enough dims, I just buy it from right here, the escape screen.
exactly.
There's no actual shop. Okay.
No, there's not an actual merchant that you go to that sticks you. And as you
That's
see,
a
you
bummer.
died.
I would have rather a few things cost the same, so it's an
Uh-huh.
actual decision
Mm.
instead of just
Oh,
like
for like options to come up with?
yeah. I think at this point it's basically a experience. It's not really a shop when there's no choices to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear
You're
you.
just because like all there is like one thing for 1,000, one thing for 1,500. There's two things here for 2,500. There's a decision there, I guess. You have to like, yeah, which one
Hmm.
do I want first,
There's
right?
two
That's
things for 1500 also. The armor and the speed is
oh,
both
okay,
15.
okay, yeah.
The
You
health
know,
is
like
the cheapest to get you a boost up. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like just more options would have been like cool. Would have been like a good shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to get a little
Yeah.
bit
So
more
you have
daring
enough
here
right
and get
now to
more
get some more
dims.
health.
I'm trying to get a little more daring here so I can get some dims because this thing's
Yeah,
disappear
dash
like
into
you're
that stuff.
saying. You just hope
And
it
they're
has.
bundled. They're
Yeah.
random. They're random numbers for
How do I buy
drops.
it? Oh, I
So
can just. Oh, I have to buy it over here. Oh,
no.
it
You
just
click on it.
happens.
Yeah.
Oh,
It just added.
well, there's no like indicator. Oh, I think I'm frozen here, man. There it goes. Okay, come on, get away, get away.
Probably
There we go.
loading to the mental
All
load.
right. Anyways, uh,
But yeah.
yeah. So that's interesting because it got pretty poor reviews.
What, High on Life?
Yeah,
Really?
got bad reviews.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. I thought what were they giving bad reviews on it about?
I didn't read too many of them. I just saw the aggregate. It's like around the 60 or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I've been enjoying it, you know. The using the different guns is cool. Getting the different upgrades and stuff like that for your suit. Being able to go to the store, buy your stuff. And then like some of the things that are in there, I like because it's like you know, there's like the fabricated stuff where it's like it's all like super scripted, where like, oh, you go into this area, this happens, you know, you do that, this happens. They may say some things, but that stuff never happens or whatever. But pretty much like if it says it, then it's actually gonna happen. Like you know, like they tell you to wait in a room for an hour for the next part of a show or something like that. Like if you literally wait for an hour, it'll literally show the next part of the show or whatever. But you just wasted an hour just standing there, you know, and it might not even be that worth it. But it's funny that it has it, you know. Um, but yeah, so you know, I mean, I've enjoyed the combat and stuff. It's still a tough game to play and get through and whatnot, and you have to like utilize a lot of the different you know, alternative weapons and things like that. You kind of got to play with stuff. You got to play with I forgot what they call it. You know, where you have to go high and you have to go low as well. Like you sometimes you got to fight in the air and utilize the air to be able to help you get around stuff. You know. So that's the same issue on that one.
Yeah, it's still not
Within
fixed.
the it didn't no it didn't change. So
The
yeah.
visuals are different though.
Yeah, the enemies are different, but it's still the same game with that one. So you get one hitter quitter. But yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun
Dude, so
with
like,
High on Life and on God of War.
but like you're switching to God of War now? Like that's where most of your time is going?
Uh yes and no. I mean it's most of my time going over there just because I mean I am enjoying the story of God of War. The combat and things like that, they're the same. It's been the same stuff I've been playing.
Oh, dude, where did my
You
health
have
buff
the
go?
new
I gotta
stuff.
rebuy that?
Yeah, yeah, you started all over again. You went into something else and refreshed that whole shit bang. It's nothing to load your
Oh, but I
stuff
still
with.
have 500 dims though.
No, you just collected that, I believe.
No, actually, you can get 500 dims in the first room.
Yeah, because all the numbers are random. But I would have to see exactly what you did. Hit escape because your health is your health drop is gone. So
Yeah, why is it gone? Just because I went to a
yeah,
different
like
screen?
I would have to see if you like refresh the whole thing and see what you started off
Because I had
as
just
and like
died,
pay attention.
and so I paused the screen to check out the risky raise,
Hmm.
and then I came back here and my health buff was gone.
Yeah, it looks like when it reloaded, it took your power up away, so it wasn't like saved into anything. If
So
that's
if
the
you leave
case,
the screen, then you lose your power up.
if you reload, like if you load up the other game and then go back to this game, it probably resets it on the server. So, but yeah, I also because I was playing High on Life and it had all the cussing in it, I ended up playing Quantum Break. You remember that game?
An old game, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I think it was like I want to say it was back on Xbox One. I don't know if it was even. I don't think it came out on One X, but I think it was out on Xbox One when that had first dropped.
Yeah, why would you play that old game?
I was playing it
Mister,
because
I
I never
don't play
did
old
play it.
games.
I never did play it, and so when I
Mister,
was
I
trying to
never play
find
old games, man.
when I well, it was for free. I don't buy old games. I didn't say I don't play old games. I don't buy old games. Don't ask me to buy that shit when it's been out for long ass time. But
Oh yeah,
or
I
at
don't
least
play
not full price or whatnot. But I checked that out because I was looking for something else to play because I was playing High on Life and then my kids came in the room, so I couldn't play it anymore. So it's like I didn't have anything else to play because I had no other games. So I was just looking and I was like, oh, Quantum Break. I never played that one, so I'll try it out. So I was playing out for like a quick second. It's pretty cool though, using the powers and stuff like that. It was a decent game. The concept is interesting because they have like a show that's like attached to it, but the show is like provided on the game or whatever. So like if you do the decisions you make after like the first um episode or first map or whatever, give you like the first episode of whatever the show is, depending
Yeah,
upon
what the
what
freak,
you
dude?
play
My
at.
power up's gone. I just bought
Yeah,
the health. Now it's gone again.
yeah, that's weird. That's weird. It's like glitching out. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Dude, bro.
I'll have to
Yeah,
look
it's
into that because
broken,
it's got a
bro.
couple
Broken.
of issues.
Yeah, because like that's no fun. Got to keep spending $1,000 every level. That's the case. Like you lose it that fast.
It's to
Like
help you survive that level, but the level isn't long enough for that. So I'm gonna have to look into that.
yeah, I'll never get to buy anything else. It took me like the whole level to get to 1,000.
Yeah, as it should, right? But yeah, for you to lose that and you're progressing to the next level, that's
That's what I'm
worse
saying.
than Returnal.
Yeah, like I spent 1,000. It took me the whole level to get to 1,000. I buy it at the end of the
Mhm.
level, and then it just
Yeah.
resets in the next level. That's damn dumb. That's extra dumb, dude. Like you don't even get to enjoy that power up for like any length of time at all.
Yeah,
That might just be a bug. I think that sounds more
it's
buggy
sure a bug. Yeah, it's a bug. I just have to figure out where the bug
than like
is.
design. Be like, nah, it's designed that way. So I need my extra health, man, to get to this level. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's not. It's not. That's not designed that way. But oh yeah, and then you restarted to the first one. Let's see what you started at.
Insurrection here. What's up with this game? Is this the same game?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sire's Insurrection is Orlawende?
No, Orlawende is the project. So Sirakende's Insurrection is the actual game.
Oh, that's confusing. I thought this was Orlawende. I thought this was a
No, that's
game.
actually the demo. So which one are you playing right now?
Okay,
Yeah,
I
click
thought that
that.
this one was Orlawende and this one was Risky Rays. I thought
Yeah,
that
that.
this game here was called Orlawende.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, the project's name is Orlawende. And I decided to call it Sirakende's Incursion for the actual game. So that Orlawende is just the website, the whole project. So you're just surviving. You're surviving through everything.
Anyways, man, like I want to hear your thoughts on God of War a little more, man.
I think that the story is great. It tells a great story. That's the main reason why I want to keep playing is because I want to hear more of the story. Um, the combat and whatnot is cool. Um, it's more of the same, so it's not anything like it's not new, so it's not like breathtaking or like, oh man, I got to use like more of that or whatever. I feel like I do have an issue with the combat in some ways because a lot of the strikes seemingly look like they take up a lot of space, but they are only horizontal. So, like, if I'm trying to smash a box, sometimes it doesn't hit it. And it's just like, damn, like the box is in front of me. Why isn't it cleaving that shit in half,
Oh, like with the chains or with the axe?
With the axe,
I
the
normally use
chains
the
do it a
chains to
lot
break
too.
axes because the chains get everything in it,
Yeah, because it does like a scoop slash or whatever when he's flinging it. But yeah, so it's kind of like yeah, sometimes certain things that you want to do in there, you would think it would do it, but it doesn't do it because of the weapon. However, the animation is for the attacks or whatnot. But I do enjoy using the chains, the chaos blades the most. Although they do a lot of stuff to force you to utilize the axe as well. I've been doing like the upgrades and stuff, so it's cool that you have like the experience. It's like a trickle effect for Atreus though, and Atreus has such a small tree. I almost wonder what's the point in having the experience and stuff for Atreus because there's only like 5 things, so it's like
I think it
wow.
comes back. I think it comes it adds on.
Oh, okay, so it stacks up later on as the game
more
goes.
things get like more things get added to his tree as
Okay.
as you move forward in the
Right.
game.
Okay.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's as long as it upgrades. But I mean, right now it seems like it's pointless. Like 5 things, and you're limiting me to experience. Just like have them activate as I get through certain stories or whatever.
So there's a couple things that like really annoy me about God of War.
Okay.
That I don't think take it away from being a great game, but it takes away from like the longevity of like the game. So like when you're in that zone right now, right? That water zone, you're paddling around and you're like doing the smokestacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're playing the game, you're playing the game. You're doing all that you can in each zone.
Yeah.
However, there's things in the zone you can't do.
You can't touch, because you haven't gotten that ability yet.
You haven't got that ability yet.
Right.
You don't get those abilities until like way later in the game.
Really? So you have to come back like
Yes,
after
way
like going
later.
through 3/4 of the game, and then
Yes,
uh,
yes.
the only thing that I've
That's
encountered,
infuriating.
yeah, the only thing that I've encountered so far that I couldn't do are those like those kind of like tombstones or whatever with like a swirly mirror thing or something, and like you want to touch it, and he touches it, and then the mirror says like, oh, you don't have the tool used for that or whatever. You got to come back later. But like I was thinking so far, like everything that I haven't had the tool for, I've found it in that realm. Just later on, and I'm able to just backtrack and then clear everything up, which is how it should be. But if you're telling me like I leave that area, go
Yes,
to a whole different
yes,
area, a couple
bro.
more areas, and then I get
Yes,
the power to
yes,
do that, and I
yes,
gotta go back, that's gonna kind of suck
yes, yes,
because I've already done
absolutely.
that. And then I
Yes.
think I think the only thing that might be kind of like a like hey, we're sorry we forced you to go through that much of the game is that they've given you warp gates to go to,
It
so to
doesn't
get you
matter
back to those
because,
areas
like, you've gone through other zones. You've completely forgotten, like, absolutely
where stuff is
forgotten
at.
where those areas were that you couldn't get to. It's
Yeah,
not like freaking, Castlevania or like Hollow Knight, where you just pop open your map and you see the whole world and you can see those little spots in the map that you couldn't get to before. You're like, oh, that's right, I'll go over there now. And you just
yeah,
immediately go there. It's not like that. You have to go back to the zone and essentially outskirt and scour it again because you don't exactly remember all the little spots that you could not get to the last time you were in that zone. And
yeah,
you might get a new ability, but there's still other things in that zone that you can't do until you get an additional ability. So you got to come back like a third time and a fourth time until you could finally do like everything in that zone. I feel
yeah,
like there's no point. It's just such a bummer because like you want to explore the zone that you just entered. Like you just entered a new zone. You want to explore it, but you're kind of punished for exploring it because like you're better off just coming back when the game is over and then redoing every zone because there's nothing that you won't be able to do then. You'll have every single upgrade, every single
right.
ability. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is
Just
like
go through it and
infuriating.
then just like clean up everything, afterwards if you want your
Like
achievements or
that's
whatever.
what I mean by like I'm burnt out. It's like,
Mm.
dude, man, I scoured this whole zone the first time I came in here. I do not want to scour this zone again. Like that's so tedious and exhausting, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it almost seemed I did get that feeling that like even with the haystacks, right, or the smokestacks or whatever. The first thing I did, it's like, oh, you can go left and go and talk to Derlin, or you can go right and help Namir with the smokestacks. Okay, I'll go help with the smokestacks. But like I see islands over here, so I'm
yeah,
just gonna go to those
right.
islands that are close to me, and then I'll scope those out, and then I'll get what I can get. And you are able to grab some things and whatnot, but then there's like certain areas where you did all of this stuff, and then like, oh, there's these special rocks that need like a different ability to use in order to open this chest. You ain't got that, so you gotta come back later. Oh, now there's these mirror things that you can look at, but you can't do anything with them because you don't have that ability yet, so you gotta come back later. Okay, so that's two things. So now I'm getting like areas that I cannot even reach because I don't have something to get up there with or whatever. So it's almost like I should just, to save myself the time, I should just go ahead and just do the actual quest. Like don't, you know, scour the lands, you know what I mean? Just go straight to the quest locations.
Yes, that's what I'm
Do the
saying,
side
dude.
quests
You
and then
should
move
just
on.
do everything. You should just move through the game and like not even try to do anything side yet until
No,
like
no,
the
no.
very
Like
end.
exploration. I think you could do side quests, right? Because you'll be able to do the side quests that pop up when they
Oh,
come
but
up.
don't
At least
explore.
right now.
Yeah,
But just don't explore.
yeah.
Because if you're going to a different island that's not the island that you should be on for that quest, for that side quest, you might be wasting your time, you might not be. But it's also
It's
gonna
just so
suck if
infuriating
you
because
just
like the
Mhm.
game wants you clearly to explore, but
Yeah.
then like they shut out about a third, of the stuff you can explore because you don't have the right It's not even like that many things. You can explore like the majority of it, but there's like
Right.
one or two little things that you can't do because you don't have that ability, right? So you're
Oh
like,
shit, are those
I
the
gotta come
Valkyries?
all the way back. I gotta come all the way back,
Yeah.
to do just those couple two things that I don't even remember. Like I just feel like that feels like end game content, but at the same
Yeah.
time, they're kind of like asking you to explore now. That infuriates me. So like I'm really not happy about
I
that.
don't know why they would I don't know how they would have stuff out there and then not expect you to explore it, to
Exactly.
see these
Exactly.
different platforms and areas and stuff and not go and look at it, even though you were only supposed to look at one thing or whatever.
Like that's what's
But
really, really frustrating with that game. And then also, you don't get all your weapon power ups through playing the story. Like you have to do
no,
some
you have
like
to use
serious
them.
fights to
Yeah,
like
you have
side
to.
quest fights.
It
You have
looks
to do
like you
some
have to
serious
use a lot of your weapons in order to be able to get like certain power ups and upgrades or whatever. Like
like I'm
certain
talking about like the
things.
chaos flames and stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
you cannot get all those through playing the main quest. You have to do
Uh,
side quests.
right.
That's really strange, man. You would think by the end of the game, your guy would be fully powered up. And then like you go and explore, but that's not how it is. Like you don't get but like 5 power-ups in the game. And your
Mm,
axe goes to 9. So it's like
mm.
there's 4 out in the world that you kind of have to just stumble upon or find. Like so I don't know, it's just really, really odd. That's a really, really odd decision to me because like and those fights are tough, man. Like I was watching a couple of videos on like how to find the power up, and like that's a damn hard fight. Like that's kind of like skill walled. Like
I
you
don't.
cannot max your guy out without a certain skill wall. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I was definitely noticing that. I mean, I don't know about you. You probably didn't have as hard time as me or whatever, but like, there's certain like I was dying quite often. Like it's just a lot of guys coming at you, and you don't have like this infinite block where you could block things behind you, and he just turns around and aims that direction. Like you have to pay attention to your full surroundings while you're fighting and whatnot, and
Right.
so they give you the arrows to help you, but sometimes you're in certain fight animations and you cannot just block it and turn around at the same time. Like sometimes it just won't allow you. You're swinging, then you get hit with spit or whatever, and I'm just like, damn, why don't I have like health potions or something like that in this bit? Like I
Dude,
need
I
health potions
agree. I
because
agree.
like
And I
I have like the like, oh, I'm able to spend my currency to get one of these resurrection stones or whatever, and Atreus will resurrect me. But like shit, man, like I'm coming across certain fights or whatever, and you know like it was like the last, I think it was like the last smokestack that I had to do. And
uh-huh.
I was fighting that bear looking thing or whatever that spit out the little tiny ones.
Right, right. Yeah, I remember.
And he's doing like nonstop like red circle attacks that
Attack.
cannot be
Yeah,
blocked.
right.
And then on top of that, I got his little seeds fucking hitting me, like jumping at me and hitting me. So like if I try to use the axe, I don't have enough coverage to be able to kill everything, and then I have to focus on the pissant ones before that they take me down because they hit for so damn much. I don't know why. And then and then I got this big ass thing charging at me and stuff like that. So I gotta watch out. So
Yeah,
I
that's what's
found
so
that
infuriating, bro. Like
the blades of chaos were like the only thing that could work in that situation, just because like while the creature was spitting stuff out, I could do some heavy attacks and swing wide enough to be able to kind of nick some of them
right.
dead. And it's like they're not, those small guys aren't tough to beat, right? One hit and they're dead. But when you have the combination of this big hefty guy and those little guys, and you're focusing on the hefty guy, those little guys start tracking you down, and next thing you know, you're just like, boom, you're knocked out, unconscious, and having to use the resurrection stone or
Yeah, what
having
I
to
can't
restart
stand,
that
man,
fight.
is like the little health jewels you find on the ground aren't enough, dude. Like after an
Nah,
intense
your
fight,
health goes
like
so quick.
you might as
At
well,
least
dude,
playing in
just die.
the midi, the recommended one. Like, yeah, my health is going down like so damn much. And so
Dude, like
smashing one of those.
when you finish a fight, man, and you move on to like the next section, like there's no way to heal your
Your guy.
health pool. There's no, like you
Yeah.
said, there's no health potion or nothing. Like there's no way to heal your guy up. Like in Elden Ring, when you're done with the fight, you go you
Your
flask
flask.
up and you
Yeah.
move on to the
Yeah.
next fight, right? Like in
Right.
this game,
Yeah.
you move on to the next fight and you're like, shit, man, my health is a fourth of what it
Yeah.
was. I'm
If you
better
didn't
off
fight
just
enough,
dying because when you die, you start
you can just
off
restart
right
the
where you
fight
were, and they
again
give you a
in
full
that
health
area.
bar. It's like you're better
Yeah.
off just dying here, right? Like
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like I
Yeah,
mean,
it
I
is,
don't know,
but
dude. Like
it definitely is a bit frustrating, with that
there's some weird
aspect
design
because
choices, that
yeah,
like
it's certain things like I don't see. Also, I don't like that I gotta press the circle button to get the health crystal. Like if I'm in a fight and I'm
oh
fighting.
you don't have to. There's actually a setting. I turned mine on, so all you
Oh,
need to
okay.
do is literally just turn that on, and he auto picks up everything.
Auto pick
I
up.
set I
Okay, all
set
right
mine to
then.
auto all
Yeah,
things,
right.
everything. So turn
Because
that
that
on.
was annoying, dude. Like while I'm sitting there trying to bash this thing's brains in, but I also need some health. I gotta stop for a second to run over to that crystal and at the proper angle so that the circle pops up so that I can hit it. Like that part was annoying. So I'm gonna definitely have to change that setting because I shouldn't have to like touch something. It should just pick up and come in my pocket. Like it should just be an automatic pickup, or an automatic
Yes,
step on or whatever
yes, that
makes it
is in
look
the game.
graphically
That is in
appealing.
the game.
That and like
Like when
Atreus
I
should be
first
grabbing shit from me while I'm fighting.
when I first started, like I went through all the settings and stuff, and I noticed that, and I turned that on. I was like, oh, that seems like a cool
Oh,
feature.
okay.
So I was like really happy to have that feature.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that one's a little rough. I
um,
didn't go through all the settings. I just started, But yeah. So, but I
right,
mean, I like the thing that I like most about it is the story. You know what I mean? That's the thing that's gonna keep me playing. Not necessarily the gameplay or anything like that. It's just the story because I've always enjoyed the God of War story. So the gameplay is cool and whatnot and everything, but yeah, I mean the story is what's gonna really carry this game for me.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the story's cool, but the thing is, like, you get lost in exploration, and you kind of like forget the story.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I hear you.
so you gotta kind
I
of
it could
like,
definitely be possible. Yeah,
yeah.
for
So it's
sure.
kind of like, I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is like, uh, the whole side mission thing that you kind of get dragged away from pulls you away. So I feel like it would have been better if they kind of like more made it linear than having like these little open worlds, because it kind of makes you want to explore, and then it gets you a little bit lost in exploration, and you
Mm.
don't really remember the story as well, where you would have just been better off probably following the story. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So it's like that's just kind of like um my first inclination, like when I'm playing through right now, I'm like, gosh, I would have liked to not have to come back to the zone. I would have liked there to have been some more, like a better way of introducing you to the zone than kind of like giving you this feeling of like wanting to explore the whole zone and then locking you out of a couple things.
Mm.
Uh, then like it would have been better if like now when the game's over, the kind of world opens up. When sometimes games do that, like when the game is over, the world kind of opens up.
Yeah,
So
right.
um, yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you.
So like it's a wonderful game. I don't want to deny that, but at the same time, like it has its flaws that really bother the heck out of me. And I would have been happier if I had not wasted time exploring those zones, because I wouldn't be burnt out now. Like I'm feeling burnt out by the game. I would have rather that happened after I finished the game, like because I
Yeah,
keep playing it after I finished it. So now
right.
I'm getting burnt out. But now I'm getting burnt out like mid game, and I've put like 30 hours into this game, and I feel like I still have quite a bit more to go as far as the story goes. You know,
Mm.
so yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but other than that, I haven't played too much else. Just been kind of, you know, uh doing that, chilling. But yeah, man. So, anyways, moving on. Top 10. That's what we're here to talk about.
Right.
Today. So, it's like a couple of days before New Year's. So let's get into it, man. So, my top 10 is
What's
this
your first
one's
score?
solely it's kind of based off of more so the games that I played. There was a lot of games that I wanted to play, just didn't get a chance to play or whatever. So people gonna have to take mine with a great of salt. But
Your number 10?
I definitely enjoyed these. But I'll give you my number 10, man. So this one it's kind of like a little battle between two, but my number 10 game is Marvel Snap. I've been
Your
having
number
a lot
10?
of fun. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Marvel Snap. It seems to be one of those things that I get on my phone. I'm actually playing it right now. I get on my phone and I play it. Just to get some good time in or whatever. So I've been enjoying it. And it's cool to collect all the cards and then get the
I'm
different
actually surprised
rarities
that
and stuff
there are
like that.
10 games you like, 9 games you like better than that game.
You said that you're surprised that there's 9 games that I like better than this.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Yeah, I
that there
mean
are
it's
nine
stuck.
games.
This is stuck to my phone, so it's not gonna it's nothing I can sit down on my couch and enjoy. So it's not gonna have the same effect. I mean, it's cool for like little time waster and whatnot, but I don't deem that as like the best. Just I play a lot of shit on my phone, so just because I play it on my phone doesn't mean that it's like a really great game. But this game is really good. I enjoy it a lot, so I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's a great game. Yeah, I'm just fascinated that there are 9 other games you found better than this one. It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see the rest of your list, man. Because
So
Marvel Snap's a freaking sick game.
yeah, Marvel Snap is a good game, man. It was kind of like a throw up between Marvel Snap and Vampire Survivors, because that's another game that I've been playing a lot of on my phone. So like if I have like time where I'm not doing anything, I'm just chilling. You know what I mean? Like I'll play some Vampire Survivors, and I'll play Marvel Snap first, do like my missions and all that shit, get that knocked out, and then I'll do Vampire Survivors and whatnot. But certain things get a little stagnant with Vampire Survivors, because like you're not always gaining something, and I don't know what's up with that Capella Manor, but that shit is fucking crazy. The little wave of bubbles that come up from the bottom from the dude holding the staff, like I don't know how to kill him or whatever. So
In Marvel
like
Snap,
it's no, and Vampire Survivors.
say that again.
In the Capella Manor, I believe it's like the fourth area.
Okay, I haven't played
Um,
that zone yet.
you haven't?
No,
Oh, okay.
I've been sticking with the first few zones,
Why?
because like you get money faster. Like
Mm.
I was trying to max all my power ups before like I went further in the game.
I mean, is there more than this? Let's see. Is there more than that? I'm sure there probably is.
What do you mean?
So, like, how many more power ups can you unlock in those first two zones? Like, I feel like
It's the
you
power
would
up on the startup screen. Do you know what I'm
the
talking
power.
about?
Well, you're
The
talking
startup
about
screen,
the
like
power up,
before you
right?
enter the game. Before you
Yeah,
enter
the
the
power up
game.
area that gives you all these.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying like there's a whole lot of them that say like you got to survive 30 minutes with a certain character. You got to survive in this on this map or whatever for 15 minutes or whatever, just to unlock certain things. So it's like you need to move forward to each new map in order to be able to even get access to certain things like banish up to like the third level or certain
No,
other
I'm talking
skills.
about like when you pick power ups, it's like increase your health by a certain percentage. There's like 4 or 5
Yeah, that's
boxes
this.
that you have to tick.
That's what I showed. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like dozen. There was like I don't remember. There was a lot of power ups to get before you even did the first level.
Well, I have like the list of all of the stuff that you can unlock or whatever. They have like 136 of them. But what I'm saying is that there was a lot of stuff that required me to move on to the next map to be able to get certain things, and then
Well, I've only
have
done like the first 2 or 3 zones, and I think I have the entire power up list. I've watched videos. I have the entire power up list. I don't think that there's anything that um, I'm missing. So
that's
I'm not
interesting.
100% sure. Like
Because like you don't have like any of the people like finding uh let's see, like you got to find the coffins in the certain areas. So
yeah.
like,
So that's finding people, but that's not power ups.
well, the people give you access to certain, like when you find like a certain person, and then you survive a certain amount of time with that person, then you gain access to certain abilities that will then come up in your rotation of skills every time you level up or whatever on a map. Or they'll give you certain power-ups like the spades cards options or whatever. They'll give you those that are also power-ups that pop up when you're going. But I couldn't, I don't know, but I couldn't see how you could get all of that stuff without ever getting into the next levels and stuff like that. But if you do get a chance, try that Capella Magna, because that shit is crazy. Like I
Yeah, I
can't.
was just trying to get all my freaking like I said, I was just trying to get my guy juiced out before like I went to the next zones because that seemed like
Mhm,
a big part of like success was having like
mhm.
some of those power ups maxed out.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not just like going with the base stats. Like some of those things are necessary. Like in particular, like more projectiles, like that power up is like super necessary to
Yeah,
like find success in that game.
yeah. You're
So
talking about the duplicator or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely for sure. Um, but yeah. So I've been playing that. So that's my number 10. Is Marvel Snap. What's your number 10?
So my number 10 this year, my number 10 was Archville.
Oh, okay. I forgot that did come out, man. I gotta like document like all of the different games
Yeah,
that I
like
play.
Was
Archville.
Archville was probably like I played that like at the very beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and that game stuck with me from like the very beginning.
Oh, okay.
Like
Did you finish it though?
um, yeah, I beat Archville.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I didn't quite. Wait, no, I beat Archville, but I didn't do all those orbs like Mark did, like all those little
Mm-hmm.
orb zones. I didn't do
Yeah.
those, but I beat
Now,
Archville.
what? When did Archville actually release?
I can't remember when Archville released. Let me look that up.
I think it said December 2nd of 2021. So what was your time frame? Was like anything that released from December and on you're considering for 2022?
That's what we've done every year.
Okay.
That's what we did last year. That's what we did this year. That's what I've
Yeah,
done.
I couldn't remember if I thought Archville had dropped last year, so I didn't even contemplate it. But yeah, I should have looked at the actual date for that sucker.
Yeah, because the Game Awards always go from November 16th, I think, to November 16th. So
Okay.
anything released in December,
Mm,
like Calypso Protocol and stuff, will never
gotcha.
get assessed for Game of the Year until the following year.
Alright.
So we just follow we follow that same system. But like Archville was like I was mad hooked addicted to Archville for like a while. Like I
Mhm.
was looking forward to my next playthrough on it. Dude, like getting the weapons and abilities were like super awesome. Leveling up your gear was super awesome. You really felt every upgrade. All the weapons were so different and unique. Like everyone felt so awesome. Like we're talking about like God of War, where you get like a couple weapons to play with that feel really good. Archville has like hundreds of weapons to play with that all feel super unique and good. The combat was exciting. It was uh, you felt accomplished when you finished it and you got through it. Like everything about it was just top notch fun, dude. Like I loved Archville like quite a bit. Like, and after all the games I played this year, like I got like probably over 20 games this year
Mhm.
in. This was probably one that like stuck with me from the very beginning. Like I was, it was so much fun. Like I wish there was another one like it. There's no other game like Archville. Like there's some
Yeah.
games that do like some of what Archville does, like Enter
There
the
was
Gungeon,
Nobody Saves the
Bullet
World.
Hell,
That was kind of like Archville.
like bullet hells like exist, which Archville has bullet hell aspects, but
Mhm.
Archville also has like the mining where you collect like ores and you build gear, like where you get to build your own gear sets. Like Gungeon doesn't have that, and then like the vast majority of unique um, guns you get, like
Mhm.
there's some of that in Gungeon, but not near to the degree that like Archville has. These weapons are like so different and unique, like swords versus wands versus like they're so different. Like I don't know, like Archville just does like the things that I really enjoy very well. Like I have almost zero complaints about Archville, and so
Okay.
um, I really recommend it to everyone. I think everyone would love it. Most gamers, not like if you don't play games too often, then like you're not going to enjoy it because it's a pretty tough game. But
Yeah.
if you're just like a standard gamer, man, I can't imagine why you wouldn't have a blast playing
Mhm.
freaking Archville. So that's my number 10.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah,
Yeah, so moving on to number 9. Um so for my number 9, um I actually chose Far Cry 6.
wait, I forgot that
So
on my list. Interesting. I didn't even add that to my total game list.
oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, I thought that the antagonist was really good, and I had a lot of fun in the world. Shooting around and discovering all the different stuff, trying to find the
Yeah,
different companions and things like that to help you fight. Nothing topped that freaking that panther, that ghost panther or whatever. That was like the sickest one. But I had a lot of fun playing the game and whatnot. It was a super uh, long filling game because there was so much out there, and normally that's like a good thing, because there's like so much that you can go back to. And just decide to like, oh, I want to collect all this, collect all that, or whatever. But at a certain point, uh, it was kind of like, oh damn, I've been on this like too long. Like I need to go ahead and move on to something
right.
else. Let me finish the story. You know what I mean? So I thought the story was cool and whatnot, and it ended kind of like how I expected it to end. But yeah, so that was my number 9 game. Uh, Definitely, as far as like a Ubisoft game goes, it's definitely like different from like going to like Valhalla or something like that, and doing an Assassin's Creed, because like I didn't even finish Assassin's Creed, you know what I mean? But like I actually finished this story. It seemed like it's easier to finish a Far Cry story than it is to finish like an Assassin's Creed story. And
Yeah,
and playing this, made me want to go back and play all the other ones that I had missed. You know what I mean? Like
right,
Far Cry
right.
5. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
and I
you got to
wanted to
give it
check out
credit
New
for
York
that.
and stuff.
That I agree. You got to give it credit for
Yeah.
that. It did make you want to go back and play those other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Like
And
for
I
you,
and
I mean,
there were
talking
things
about
that I
you and
had
not.
missed, but yeah.
I bet you if you could, you would go back and give Far Cry 5 your number 9 spot if it wasn't from
I would
last year, man.
definitely there was
Yeah,
there was some definite things that I could give Far Cry a spot in for that. Yeah. There was some things that were like annoying, but other than that, I thought it was like a really good game. I liked the atmosphere and the vibes for 5. It was kind of like
yeah.
it felt like pretty real or whatever. It felt like I was playing like a different game
I also
at
like
certain
the
points.
weapon system, the gear system better in 5 than I did in
Yeah,
6.
yeah, definitely. Fives was a better gear system, So 6 had like some changes and things like that. It was more of
Yeah,
like put together some stuff or whatever, but it was still cool. I enjoyed 6, but yeah, because I had enjoyed 6, I was like, let me play 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's been out for a while. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and dive into this. And see like what were the differences that changed, between
right.
the two and whatnot. But yeah, what's your number 9?
Yeah. So my number 9. Let's see here. Give me a sec. Try to figure this out here. My number 9 this year was Cult of the Lamb.
Oh,
Cult
okay. All
of the
right.
Lamb. Yeah, this
That
was
was like another. That was almost like an Arkvale, wasn't it?
yeah, so like you're kind of like seeing like I play a lot of indies.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is another indie game from Devolver. But dude, Cult of the Lamb was super fun. Like super, super, super fun. So basically like it's basically like Don't Starve
Mm-hmm.
meets like Archfell, I guess. Or like
Okay.
Binding of Isaac. So it's basically
Mm-hmm.
like a Don't Starve meets Binding of Isaac
Isaac. Yeah.
with this cult twist. So it's like you got like followers that you have to feed and keep healthy, and
Okay.
just like Don't Starve, you got to
Yeah.
collect items to build homes. You need like resources to build your home. So in Don't Starve, you basically just go out into the world, right,
Mm-hmm.
and collect those items. The way you collect them in Cult of the Lamb, you got to go fight. So you kind of got to go like into the Binding of Isaac aspect of the game, and kind of and collect the wood and the grass and all the resources you need to build your cult larger.
Okay.
You
Your
need
little village and stuff.
beds. Yeah, your village. You need beds. You need a chapel. You need like a worshiping stone because your little
Mm-hmm.
cult members worship you, and like you get like experience from them worshiping you, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get to buy new items for your cult with that experience. So like you want to build your worshiping stone to make it larger, so you can get more devotion. The game calls it. Uh, you like do all these rituals where you can like sacrifice one of your cult members so you can like build yourself up stronger to get more stats.
Yeah.
Like there's like it's just like it was like really 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 good, and you can see like the artwork is like very Don't Starvey. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you could see the video on the screen, like the artwork is like very very Don't Starve esque.
Yeah.
So so basically like it's just a really 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 well done game. It's a lot of fun. It didn't feel too hard, like it felt just hard enough. So like the boss fights were like not like crazy difficult, where like you feel stuck. um just so many things about it just felt like really really good. Big fan of Cult of the Lamb, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Definitely one of the best games this year, no doubt
Hmm.
about it. No doubt about it. So
Okay.
that's my number 9, Cult of the Lamb.
All right. Yeah. I did want to play Cult of the Lambs, but I just never got a chance to grabbing it and whatnot. But I did like what I saw and wanted to check it out at some point. So that's cool.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, highly recommend it, and I still recommend it even if you haven't played. Um, even if you haven't played, you know,
Played
like
it yet?
it's old. Like it's old now. Like if you're like
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
on to 2023, like it's still
Right.
worth playing, even like now that it's kind of considered old because it's going to be like
Yeah.
old. But it's like a previous year game, but it's still like definitely worth doing. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. For sure.
So yeah, number 9, man. It's a pretty solid game. Like I feel like all my games on this are like really good. Like this could be top 10. I mean top 5, top 3 in like other years. Like it's Cult of Lamb is like really really good, really
Hmm.
solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So for mine, for number 8, for my number 8, it was actually this one might be a surprise for you. It was Tinykin.
oh come on, man,
Yeah, man, Tinykin, dude. I like
Tiny
that game a
King.
lot.
Oh,
Tinykin,
dude,
man.
I couldn't get into it, bro.
I like that game a lot. It reminded me of Pikmin, man. Like it just had like a lot of Pikmin vibes. And I used to always love Pikmin back in the day, so it kind of gave me like, that little nostalgia and whatnot. So I had a lot of fun with Pikmin. So
Yeah, I had a
Tinykin
hard
was
time with the
one of
controls,
those.
man, on this Tiny King.
Did you?
Like the angling, the jumping, it was like delayed. It was like a weird wonky jump. Like I don't know. I just did not. I was not enjoying the controls. That's what really turned me
Hmm.
off of Tekken. Like I did play it and give it a shot, but like it just I wasn't the biggest fan on like how it controlled. Like it was the weirdest delay. Like when you press like the bubble to float or whatever, like it would take a while. Like just take a while to get the finesse in it, and I just wasn't
Yeah.
liking about it. So
Hmm.
so it was a no go for me.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, I ended up playing it all the way through. It had like a little story in it and whatnot, but I just had fun, just like trying to solve the puzzles, finding all the little tiny cans and putting the pieces together and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just one of those, that I enjoyed a lot. So that's why I marked it as my number 8 because I enjoyed
That's
it more than I
crazy.
did
I was
more than I
definitely
did
like,
Far Cry, more than I did
see, this is why I'm shocked that you
um,
like this better than Marvel Snap because Marvel Snap is like such an amazing game. Like it's so well
yeah, but
polished. It's so
yeah,
well
but
like the
like I
artwork is
said,
next level.
it's just on your phone, so it's like I don't know, it's a little different because it's on my phone, so I didn't have as much of a love for it. Like it's cool, but I like to play like the games on the console like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I'm playing it quite a bit or whatever, but it's just on my phone. I'm only playing it because of its convenience. I've got all of these other games that I would rather play other than that.
But look at you,
But
man.
I
Like
do
you're
have to
hooked
give
on
it
it. You're
credit.
playing it right. You're playing it like all the time.
No, well, I'm playing it, yeah, because I have like a lot of time where I can't just like wake up and be on, my game, immediately. I wake up at like 3 in the morning to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm playing it, because it's what I like to do with like the little bit of free time that I have, the piece or whatever. Just I'll play it while I'm driving or whatever because it's just easy to play. You know what I mean? And I get there, but if I'm home, what I'm saying, and I have a chance to sit on the console, I'm on the console, and Snap ain't there. You know what I mean? I wouldn't play Vampire Survivor on my console. I think it's perfect for the phone. And I think Snap is perfect for the phone as well. And I always have my phone with me. You know what I mean? So that's why I play it as much as I do. But hell, I play my NFT games just as much as Marvel Snap. You know what I mean? So it's like that for me. But what's your number 8?
I guess I never see you really play games like this when we're having our podcast. Like I feel like the game is like more like hooked you.
No, when we're playing my podcast, I mean like I'm in my little podcast section. So like if I was to go and move it to my couch, then like it would be hard to have a conversation with you about these games because I would be focused on playing God of War right now or something like that. And I probably wouldn't even play it because I'd have to be listening to the story and stuff like that. But this is something that, I could sit here, turn away from, look at you, talk to you about stuff, and then while you're talking and I'm listening, I can sit here and play something like that. It's literally just convenience, but it's still a great game. That's why it made my list at all. If I didn't think it was worthy enough, I wouldn't have even put it on the list. But
I,
yeah, but I could definitely,
I
I could
understand that, but
definitely play some.
Tinykin, dude, like
I could
Marvel Snap
definitely
was like
play some
crazy. It was
Tinykin while
mobile
I
game of
while
the
I was
year.
talking to you though. But yeah, but this is my preference, and I told you why, because I've always loved Pikmin, and I was a little upset that they just brought back the older Pikmin, for the Switch or whatever. It wasn't like a new Pikmin. It wasn't a new story or anything like that. It was just the older shit. But I think they might be doing like a Pikmin 3 or something like that, or a Pikmin 4 or something. But we'll have to see. But yeah, this was like my Pikmin itch that was fulfilled this year with Tinykin. But yeah, so what's your 8, sucker? Let me see what you got, man.
You're funny. All right, my number 8 was Immortality.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I couldn't do it. But I know you said that you really enjoyed the story, right? And how it played out.
Uh, shoot, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I want here. Okay. Dude, I just it's just incredibly well made. Like it's well acted. It's very unique. So it's an entirely unique experience. Like I've never played a game that's like this.
You sure this
Uh
is Immortality or is this something else?
yeah, this is Immortality.
It's like
This
a
is it.
movie or something.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Mm.
Yeah, Immortality is like a movie.
It was
So
like the live
basically
action
like
shit.
yeah, it's live action.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, what you're doing is like you're just examining all these movie clips from this actress. You're looking at her movies, and you're trying to figure out who killed her, like how she died. So it's kind of like a murder mystery.
Got
And
you.
so, like, you're following these clips, and within this clip right here, like you see this picture of this chick here, and there's
Mm-hmm.
like these masks. You have the ability to like move your cursor around and kind of like click on objects in there, and then the game will take you to other scenes that have those similar objects in them. So you kind of
Okay.
like piece together the parts of the movie, and like within some of these clips, they're like possessed. Like some of these clips are like possessed, the clip itself. And like
Okay.
you'll notice like this like haze in the clip. It's kind of creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this ability to like fast forward and rewind and slow down a clip. And then when you see that haze, you start to fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, rewind, like kind of get like where exactly was that haze at until like you hit it, and all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden a whole entire new scene appears of like this weird character that you don't know who it is or what they are. And you're just like way more intrigued because like that different character is like they seem supernatural in some way. So like
Mm.
I don't want to give anything away, but um that was one of the most addicting parts of the game was trying to hunt for more of those like possessed clips. So like
Got
you're
you.
kind of just like it's just addicting. It's like okay, one more click, one more click. I'm gonna click on that microphone. I'm gonna click on that light bulb in the background. I'm gonna click on that on her face. I'm gonna click on that cup. You can click on anything, and it will take you to like a brand new scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch that scene and you see if you can learn anything new, or you can see if there's anything about it that has that possession aspect to it, and see if you can get more of that possession information, which is kind of like the true game. So,
Mm.
like, I don't know, man. Like, it was just it hooked me. I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of fun hunting for those possessed clips. And that was a super cool, unique idea. The story, the acting was really well done. Like I said, it's like live action.
Yeah.
Um, just all really easy. Anyone can play it. Like anyone can do it. It's not hard at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like a total layman and you don't play video games, you could play this one. All you're doing is just clicking on things that interest you in the scene, and then fast forward and rewinding until like you activate those hidden clips. And once you've like activated enough of those hidden clips, like
Mm-hmm.
something triggers in the game. Like so, I don't know. It was just really excellent. I really enjoyed Immortality, and I'd be remiss to not have it on my top 10 for sure. So,
Okay.
uh, number 8 is Immortality.
All right. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I saw that one. It kind of that one kind of reminds me of like the thing in Cyberpunk where you could like peep the scenes and you like go back and play it, come back again, and all
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah,
with it.
exactly.
Kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of that. But yeah, okay, that's cool. That's a an interesting one that you picked there.
yeah. It was really, really got me, really hooked me.
Okay.
All right, man. What's your number 7?
But yeah, so my number 7 is actually Tunic.
Okay.
Yeah, so Tunic is that indie Zelda like game and whatnot, and I had a lot of fun with that one. It's pretty challenging. I feel like it was like as challenging as like Link's Awakening or whatever. So it
Hmm.
brought back that type of feeling and whatnot. I don't think I ever finished it though, but I did enjoy the game. I did have fun with the game. So
Yeah, I think I'm looking at my top 10. I finished almost all of these games in my top 10. I think there's 2 or 3 that I haven't finished, but
okay,
most of these on my top 10 I did finish.
got
Um,
you.
if I didn't finish them, then I put like a shiz ton of hours in them. So like I'm really close to finishing them if I didn't finish them. So like yeah. So yeah, Tunic, man. Awesome. You know how much I like Tunic.
Yeah. Yeah. Tunic
You'll be
is good.
seeing it. I'm sure you'll be seeing it making another appearance on my list here. Um, going through.
Yeah.
But
Yes, I
Tunic
mean,
is
I had a
really
lot of
cool.
fun with it though, because it was basically because it was like a really good copy of what you call it,
Link's Awakening. Yeah, but the thing
links.
is, like, it even kind of did its own thing too, right? Like, it kind of did like,
Yeah, it did do some different things with like the different language that you didn't understand, and then just putting it together. With like the little books that you could find, like to give you the layout and
right?
stuff like that.
Yeah, the
There was a lot of
manual, the
things that
game
were different
manual.
about it. Yeah,
So
yeah,
instead
yeah,
of
the
giving you
manual.
like the game manual to start the game with, you find it as you play it, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
right.
Um, kind of study a little bit more. This was like what Death's Door was for me last year. Like it was really good. Death's Door was so good. So this is very
Mm.
similar to that. Is that it, man?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that was it for my number 7. What about yours?
Um, my number 7 was Rogue Legacy 2.
Okay, Rogue Legacy, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Rogue
wanted to I
Legacy
wanted to
2.
play that one, man. I really enjoyed Rogue Legacy 1. And I just never got a chance to play it. But yeah, you're right, dude. You buy like a shitload of freaking indies this year. You bought a lot of freaking indies. But yeah, dude, that's a good pick though. I'm not sure. Did it carry off like the same like the first one? Where it's just like your lineage and whatnot. Like, what about it made you want to put it on your top list?
Well, dude, yeah, I mean, like Rogue Legacy, the first one was like a really great game, and I was always super excited about Rogue Legacy 2 when I saw the announcement because like they changed the art style. It's a little bit more. The color palette is a lot more deep. It's more cartoony, so there's a lot more to the animation in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then just being able to explore a new castle, like I love doing in Rogue Legacy, and like there was new hero classes you could play. So just everything about it just felt more polished in the first one. And I really
Mm-hmm.
liked the first one. And like everything about this one was just essentially better. So it's like a better version of like the first game. Um, they added a new thing where you can like, I think it was you can like blend like two classes together. Um, I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. There was like a dock this time, so there was like additional things to purchase and buy that weren't there before as you were building your castle up. Um, of course, finding the blueprints and finding items was like super fun as well in this game because I really liked the abilities and weapons. Every single like character played differently. Um, it's really hard. Like basically everything that I liked about Rogue Legacy, I like about this, but this is just better. And I'm a huge fan of Metroidvania games.
Mm-hmm.
You know that if you watch the show at all, you know that I love Metroidvania, and Rogue Legacy is like the epitome of Metroidvania. It's exactly what Metroidvania is. It's like this is like Castlevania essentially. It's like basically the same thing. So like and they do a really great job of it. The combat, the gameplay, like I said, the art style, the reward process of collecting gold and leveling up your guys, getting new characters, all that stuff is like top notch gameplay. So
Mm-hmm.
Rogue Legacy is just like one of the best in the industry at Metroidvania. So really incredible game. I mean, this was like the year of indies. Like because there wasn't a whole lot of like triple A's, they all got
Mm-hmm.
delayed. Like indies
Yeah.
just kind of like had a great year. And like this isn't the end of the indies on this list for me. Like there's other indies too that were really great too. Like I think if we look at my list so far, I think it's almost all been indies. Um, yeah, every game has been an indie so far.
Yeah.
Uh, and so like even on my top 10, like yeah, you had Far Cry 6, but I think these indies are better than Far Cry 6. And like Far Cry 6 is a really good game. So like I just think the indies just kicked butt this year. There
Yeah,
was
there are quite a bunch of good indies that have been dropping. Yeah, for
this
sure.
year, right? Like most
Yeah.
years there's like one or two indies that are like really good. But I feel like this year there were like a handful of like top-notch, high quality indie games. Like Rogue Legacy, Cult of the Lamb, these were all like very highly rated games, like some of the highest rated games this year. And that's largely because I mean they just were great games, but then there wasn't that many other AAA games. So like Rogue Legacy is like excellent, man, absolutely excellent. Like if you're into Metroidvania, even in the slightest, like you got to try out Rogue Legacy 2. You don't even have to play Rogue Legacy 1. Like just play Rogue Legacy 2 and like you're gonna be super happy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, Rogue Legacy 2, I got like really far in this game. I don't think I quite finished it either. But I was like really strong, really powerful. The game was getting like really easy, and I just kind of get, when a game starts to become like when you get too overpowered for the game, like you get a little bit like burnt out with it, right? Like there isn't much more to improve upon. So like you're not feeling like that well, I don't know what the word would be, that urge to want to keep playing because you kind of already hit the peak. So like you kind of feel like you've done the most you can with that game. So I kind of got to that place with Rogue Legacy 2. But really, really good stuff, man.
Yeah,
I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get to it. Hopefully, one of these days it'll come out on Game Pass, so that I can be able to check it out.
Yeah, it was Xbox exclusive actually. So like, you had to play it on Xbox, but it wasn't on Game Pass. Interesting enough. So
it
was Xbox exclusive. It wasn't a Game Pass game.
Yeah, that is interesting. All right, so what are we at right now?
6.
6. Yeah. Okay. So for number 6, I have Gotham Knights on there.
Okay.
So yeah, Gotham Knights, I actually had fun playing it. There was some things that were really frustrating about the game, but I thought that it was really like the storyline, you know what I mean? Like the stories between like Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze, freaking Ra's al Ghul, like, all of those parts in the games were pretty cool. It was just like, being in the Gotham world again. There were some things that were a bummer, like that you could only play co-op, that you couldn't play with like 4 players in a world and whatnot. But it was also cool that, like if you and your friend are in there, you guys can kind of like separate and get some stuff done. There was some frustrating moments where it felt like if you didn't have somebody with you, you just get your ass handed to you all the time. But after a certain point, because it was just so many people, so many guys. But after a certain point, it became one of those games where you could just take on something by yourself because you had like enough weapon upgrades and things like that, so you had to almost get to a certain point where you weren't OP, but you were able to handle yourself. But it was weird because they just have a consistent flood of enemies throughout the game. So it was almost like, this is fucking impossible without a teammate. You know what I mean? But then, I found myself going off and, and stopping crimes and stuff like that, by myself while my teammate was over in a different area, trying to hunt for some things or whatever. But I really enjoyed the story. That was one of the things that was more enjoyable to me, because it's certain things that you've seen in like the comic books or whatever, like the Court of Owls and stuff like that you actually get to see. And they and some of the things were just like ridiculously tough for like no reason, which almost made it comical, like because you're literally in a tube and like a tunnel or something like that, like running for your life, and you're dying at like every corner because there's always some bullshit to like slow you down, and you just get caught by the wave, or like you get thrown into the dungeon of the Court of Owls, and it's just like blades and gears and shit twirling, and you're just getting X'd out like nonstop. And it's like, damn, like Robin would like legit be fucked if he came down here. Like, I don't even understand how they got all this shit down here, and it's not like reported for noise made and stuff like that, like, and everything else. But like, it was really the story that I enjoyed the most about the game that made me overlook certain things. I got to go back and finish like the the extra little stuff, the little scraps and things like that. You know, the collectors and stuff. But yeah, so
That's
that's
funny, man.
my number 6, man. What about you?
Yeah, that's interesting because Gotham Knights, I thought was really cool as far as like you mentioned the story and the meeting the villains. But
Yeah,
I really got burnt by just the world exploration. Like the city felt like so plain to me. Like they did not do a very good job, in my
it
opinion.
definitely wasn't as good of a city as like Spider-Man,
No way.
Spider-Man
And the
city, but
stuff
that's
to do was
also
stupid. It was like the same thing 100 million times in a row. Like it was so
well, yeah, like I guess
overdone,
like the
right?
crimes. I mean,
Yeah,
when you look at it, right? Spider-Man had the same list of crimes and things like that that needed to be solved, like the little random stuff that was out there. The only things that were different. I'm trying to remember what was exactly different in Spider-Man. I mean, the story was the best thing about Spider-Man, as well
well,
as the traversing. The traversing
it was
was
just
really great.
weird the way Gotham Knights did it. Like you had to like wait till it was like time to go outside to like, okay, now I'm gonna go on a patrol, and it just repopulates the world with the exact same things you did the previous night. Like that's what's so stupid about it. Where like Spider-Man, you just do what you want, go where you want when you want to do it. And there were like things that you did that stayed permanently done. Like there
Well, that
wasn't
was
like this weird like repetition that Gotham Knights has.
well, that was definitely that was one of the weird things about how the story progressed or whatever, right? Because this is like uh it's really weird because it's not like a set path of days or whatever that you follow for the story, right? So like my father-in-law was doing like one or two things, and then he was shutting the night down. So he was up to like night 56 or something like that, when I was only up to night like 12. But it was how you had to progress through
I didn't
certain
like that, man.
storylines and
Night
stuff like that.
56 of doing like the same crime missions over and over again. Like that is the most mind-numbing thing. Like I don't know. I was not a fan of that like whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean the crimes and things like that were one of those things that, that sucked, but I mean you kind of you had you
And you had to do it.
in all of these open world games like that, you have a lot of the stuff that is the same. You very rarely get a game that has
Yeah, but it's
like
different, bro.
all
It's like,
different
okay,
things.
in Spider-Man, you got like crimes to do, but it's a finite number. There's like three in this part of the city, three in this part of the city, and then like three in that part of the city. And like
That's what
once
it
you've
was
done all three,
in Gotham Knights. And
no,
when you went back in, or like on another night or whatever, you still had the same types of crimes and whatnot that were going on. It was just that, as far as your uh how do you say, like your requirements for like the achievement or whatever, that was a finite number. You weren't required to do like uh you were only required to do like, I think like 80 crimes or something like that, and they had like certain ones, but they were always having the same types of crimes in the boroughs that you were in, that you were going in. They had the same types of crimes throughout those places, so that was all repetition. They've always been repetition as far as I've seen, but I guess it's just how well those fights are. And I think what made Spider-Man a little bit easier to digest was just because of the combat. It was just a little bit more fun for the combat. I mean, it probably was different for people to digest it with Batman, because when you think about Gotham, what is it, Arkham, Arkham Asylum or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You had like all the same fucking types of crimes just repeated over and over again as you went through the city. But you if you enjoyed doing those crimes, you enjoyed doing them. The main reason why you did the crimes in Gotham Knights was so you could just level
no,
up your
but
guy,
dude,
just
there was finite number of things. Like there's only like so many outposts in Spider-Man. There's only so many. It's not the same every single night. Like that's what I'm
what
trying
do
to
you
say.
what do you
It's
mean
like,
by
yeah, there
outposts?
were like little guys you could kill that were there every time, but like the things you were trying to do in the city, like clear an outpost, right? Or like find these pictures, were
Uh-huh.
finite. That was all finite in Spider-Man. It wasn't like every time I went out, there's a whole 100 new pictures to find every time I went out, and you just kept
That I
finding
mean,
the same things over and over again.
I don't think that Gotham Knights was that at all. I don't remember going out and looking for the same picture like
I'm not saying you were
two
looking for the
times
same
over.
picture. What I'm saying is in Gotham Knights, you
Uh-huh.
kept doing the exact same thing every night.
Because you were
Like
fighting
like
the
like you
crime going on.
interrogate guys or whatever, and there's like 10 of them that night you can do, and then when you've done them all, you've done them all, and then you go back home and you go back out, and the next night you do the exact same things over again.
But from what I recall, when you interrogated, it was you were looking for certain information from a certain group of people. So like you had like the mob that you would have to interrogate, or you would have the freaks that you would have to interrogate,
Right.
or whatever. But they're different. They're different groups. The freaks deal with Harley Quinn and them. The mob deals with Penguin and stuff like that. And Mr. Freeze, which was like a different group. I can't remember. But you had to do the crimes that correlated to those guys. And then you had to interrogate them. And so like if you didn't do an interrogation or whatever, then you wouldn't get that information or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not
But I
understanding
mean,
how you're not understanding what I'm saying. That's what I mean. You're doing the exact same thing over and over again. The exact same
but with
night after
but
night.
with different people, so it's not the same. Like you're literally trying to get information from different groups. So yes, in the grand scheme of things, yes, you're interrogating another motherfucker, but that's the same as I had to punch another guy outside. Like
No, that's not what
you're
I'm
doing the same
saying.
thing.
That's not what I'm saying.
I
No,
guess I'm not
that's not what I'm
understanding what you're
saying
saying.
at all. In
I'm not understanding
Spider-Man,
what you're saying.
the things that you do in the city are finite. What don't you understand about that? You understand how there's a finite number of outposts that you can destroy. Same with Far Cry.
So you're telling
There's
me
a finite number
I
of
go out
things in
to
the
the
world
city,
to
there's
do.
nothing else to do.
It
Like I go
doesn't
out to the
just
city and there's
repopulate with the
nothing else.
exact same thing I just did over again. Once I've done that outpost, it's gone forever. It's a permanent impact. Where in Gotham Knights, you're doing the exact same thing every single night. It doesn't change. And they just repopulate it again with the exact same things you did last night. In Spider-Man or Far Cry, you once you've done it, that thing is gone forever. Once I found that picture's gone. Once I killed that outpost is gone. Once I killed that enemy's gone.
Okay, yeah, I'm still I don't remember just doing like one specific thing numerous times. I mean, they had like the same scenario or whatever. I guess because it's the same scenario or whatnot. I don't know, but regardless, right? You already know that when you're doing these open world games, you're gonna get a lot of repetition, just like you would find a lot of the same people that walk around and whatnot. But I understand that you enjoyed the things that you did in Superman way more than you did the stuff in Gotham Knights. And there was a lot of things that I would have loved for Gotham Knights to have changed and switched around and whatnot. But I did have a bit of fun with Gotham Knights, but it's way more enjoyable when you're playing it with somebody else. It wasn't as great of a game when you're playing it solo, just because it's cool to like team up and whatnot. But the story was still good to watch. I don't know if they had anything where you could just watch all of the videos like one by one or anything like that, like a movie in a sense. But it'd be cool if they did have something like that
Yeah, that would be cool.
to watch all like the cut scenes and stuff like that in a row, so you can see the whole thing play out. It'd just be like watching, one of the animated Batman movies or something. But so yeah, so what's your 6?
So my six is, you're gonna be a little surprised by this because it even surprises me.
Another indie?
A lot of people, it is another indie, but a lot of people probably would not have thought that this game was even in existence. It's not a game that was talked about. So, like for instance, my other games like Rogue Legacy 2 or Immortal, like all the major outlets, were like kind of talking about those games. So like you were aware of it, you knew about it. Yeah, like you didn't play it, but
I
you
only knew
knew
about it
about it.
because you had mentioned it a while back that
Well,
it
you
had
knew about
released.
Rogue Legacy 2 without me mentioning it, right?
No, I knew about it. Like I didn't know that there was a Rogue Legacy 2 until you had mentioned it a few months ago on the podcast that you were playing it. Like I didn't get any updates saying like, oh, Rogue Legacy 2 is out until you had mentioned it. So
Oh,
that's the
but
only
you
reason
knew it
why
was
I know
coming
about
though,
Rogue
right?
Legacy.
Like you knew it was
No,
coming.
nah, I was out of the loop on
Oh,
that
you
one.
didn't even know they were making a Rogue
Yeah, I
Legacy.
was surprised. Like, oh shit, they made it too. Like that's
Okay,
dope.
well,
You know what I mean?
okay, well, whatever. What I'm trying to say is, I follow the news. That's how I knew about Rogue Legacy 2, and I told you about it.
Right.
Um, I'm saying this game wasn't in the news. Like I didn't even know about this game.
Okay.
This game just came up on Game Pass, and I gave it a shot because I
I like
just
doing that.
sometimes
I
do
like
that,
doing that.
right?
Random
Yeah.
ass games on Game Pass. Yeah, I like
And
doing that.
so this game was called Ghost Song.
Oh, okay. I downloaded Ghost Song, but I didn't really like play it much.
It's a hard thing, man. It's Ghost Song. I'm trying to get some gameplay for y'all. I just okay, so Ghost Song. This was a total out of nowhere hit for me. Okay. Ghost
Okay.
Song, I was not expecting it to be what it was, but it was absolutely awesome. Ghost Song was awesome, dude. Like to me, it was beautiful. Like the artwork was beautiful, the sound design was incredible, the music was incredible, um, the world design was incredible, the game play was a ton of fun. It's basically Hollow Knight meets like Metroid Dread. Basically, it's basically Hollow Knight meets Metroid Dread.
Because you had to
Essentially.
like aim your shots and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, because you have a blaster just like Samus does in Metroid Dread,
Yeah.
and you aim it the exact same way. You power up your suit just like Metroid Dread, but it's got the this little thing right here, the little power up system here, where you pick the runes or whatever, and you make a build. That's exactly Hollow Knight. Like even like the power use cost, how much each you're allowed to put on, like that's 100% a Hollow Knight copy. The feel of the world, the atmosphere of the world, the enemy designs, the way you interact with the world and the characters is almost identical to Hollow Knight. So it's basically just all the best things of Hollow Knight and all the best things of Metroid Dread. And you have a Ghost Song. And it even does a couple things differently. Like in this game, there's actually melee weapons. So you can get like swords, you can get like a shield that you throw that comes back to you, like a Thor's hammer kind of thing. Like that adds a whole nother element of combat where like in Metroid Dread is really just your gun. And so in this one, you have rockets and stuff you can shoot from your gun, but there's also that aspect of the melee combat, which is like really, really fun. Just this game was such a shocker to me. I was addicted to this game until I beat it. Like I was addicted to exploring every inch of the map. I was addicted to the combat. I was addicted to the characters. I was chatting with like every character, reading the stories of every character. I was scouring the map. You know how you do in a Great Metroidvania, where like you pull the map and you're like, okay, where have I not gone next? You know, like it was just so much fun. I couldn't wait to find like the next power up and the next, weapon, because you come across these weapons in the world like. It's like, dude, that, and they're all so different and unique. Like that sword this person's using is like completely different than like the shield you would use, right? Or the spear. You can find like a spear. Like, I don't know. It was just the bosses were really interesting, unique, fun fight. I just adored Ghost Song. Really adored it. I wanted to put it higher on my list, but I think some of the games that I put higher on my list are like really top-notch quality games. But this one really surprised me because I didn't really know anything about it. I just took a chance on it and really, really loved it. Really loved Ghost Song. So can't say enough good about this game.
That's cool. Yeah. I had downloaded, like I said, I had downloaded Ghost Song, and I played it, but I only played it for about maybe like 10 or 20 minutes, and it didn't really interest me that much. Like I see the allure because it's like a 2D side scroller, almost like Limbo or something like that. And it had a different art style and things like that. But I don't know. I just like I played it and I was just like, okay. You know what I mean? And I moved on to something else. But it was one of those things where I did just like you. And I was just like, let me check out and see what Game Pass has, And I put a couple of things on the list to check out. And then I had just played that from the cloud and whatnot. And so I gave it like a short little play, but it was nothing that it didn't grasp me like it grasped you. So but that's cool. I did hear.
At first I was a little bit confused on what exactly it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little bit I'm like, I'm not sure what this is. It feels a little wonky. But the more time I gave it, like I just started to see the beauty of how awesome it was and like how incredible a game it was.
Okay.
So yeah, I did have to spend a little bit more time than like just a tertiary glance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure if I had if I was like tapped out or something like that, I might have like stayed, and played it a little bit longer or something like that to see. But yeah, that's the thing when you're trying out a couple of games on Game Pass, sometimes they have like a couple to play at once, like 2 or 3 games. And so
right.
I can't remember.
You level
what
up
else
just like
I
Dark
checked out.
Souls. So like once you die, you drop your souls. You gotta go back
Yeah.
and pick them up.
Yeah. You had there wasn't there like a robot, a dead robot or something like that that you would go to and then spend your soul lights and stuff like that to level up and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I played it, but that's cool. It's on your list.
Yeah, it's an amazing game.
Yeah, it was definitely. I didn't know that you had ever played that one because I don't think I had ever heard you mention it in the podcast or anything like that. That was something you were playing, but it could have been one of those weeks that we had off or something like that.
I did, yeah, but maybe, I don't know. Anyways,
yeah.
Ghost Song totally surprised me.
Okay,
one of the best games this year for sure.
That's super indie because I definitely didn't hear anything about it, nor did I know it was coming until it was already
See, like even the scene right here, like it's just intriguing. You're like, why the heck is that person hanging up there? Like they hung themselves. Like I know the world is just intriguing. Like they did a great job, like world building and stuff. So I really enjoyed it.
Got you. So we'll go ahead and switch it up from 5 to 1. I'll let you go first, man.
What?
Oh, I said okay. We'll switch up the order from 5 to 1. I'll let you go first with your 5.
Yeah, I figured we probably just share one. So just like we do it together.
Okay.
I can't imagine why.
Because we already know what one is.
I can't imagine why it would be any different for either one of us. But
yeah.
Okay, so my number 5 game of the year was Marvel Snap.
Oh, okay. You put that shit high up there. But you're not playing it right now, man.
Because I haven't hooked my phone up. I gotta hook my phone up to play it on the computer. So I just put this on. But yeah, Marvel Snap I thought was quite a bit better than like you thought. Like Marvel Snap, I thought was a brilliant game in my opinion. I thought they nailed this game. I think the artwork is absolutely top notch, about as high as quality as you get in the industry. I don't think you get better artwork than this in the industry as far as like the card design and the way the cards looked.
I feel like they could have just done a little bit more, like with the animated ones and stuff like that. Like I feel like it wasn't, like when you upgrade them and stuff, like all of the base models and having all the different variants, all that stuff is like super cool. It makes shit like really hard. Like if you could get an all pixelated deck, that would be like super dope. But then there's always so many cards, like you're never gonna play with just one deck. You know what I mean? But I guess it'd be cool to have. But like when it goes to animated, it's not as much animated. It's like two things that's like wavy. Like it'd be super sick if like, you saw Rocket, sit there and then like shoot his gun in the air and it was like really like animated, you know what I mean? For you to be spending, so much on those cards, right? Because you have to play that card a lot in order to get all of the boosters for it and then upgrade it and whatnot, besides seeing it in the shop or the store or whatever.
Yeah, I'm talking just about the general art design and how top notch it is. Like, I
Okay.
think it's extremely well done. Um, I don't. My answer to you on that is like you upgrade these cards like a lot of times.
Hmm.
Like the first, so like it's not like Hearthstone where there's like basically only 3 rarities. Like that's
I
all
don't know
there
how
is.
many
There's
rarities
3 rarities.
there are on these things.
Actually, there's only like 2 or 3 variants. So like in this game, there isn't like rarities. Like all the cards are like equally attainable,
Right.
right? Like so basically it's just like either that card is rare or it's legendary. There's no version. Where in this game, you can make any card legendary in its look, right?
Hmm.
And you can even go like beyond legendary. Where in Hearthstone, all there is basically common card, like normal looking cards and golden cards. And I
Hmm.
think Hearthstone did a really good job with golden cards. Like I agree, they're much more animated, but this one has like a whole bunch of levels a card can go. Like so, I think it's like difficult to say um, that this game. I haven't even maxed the cards visuals out yet. Like so, I don't know enough to know if what you're implying is true or not. I just don't know,
Hmm.
right? I don't know if the visuals are as bad as you or are better or good enough for what you think would be worth doing. I don't know, to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, because I haven't leveled a car up all the way to its max visuals. I haven't done that. I'm just saying, like, dude, what they did here is like every bit as good as like the actual Marvel comic books. Like they cut no corners. Everything looks top notch as far as like the art quality goes. Also, when you play the card, like the animation for every card that you play when it comes from the world is like really cool, really unique. Like it's every bit as good as like Blizzard's Hearthstone, maybe even better. I think the gameplay is like super balanced. I really love how fast it is. So like you play at the same time.
It's a
So it's
quick
not
game,
like
yeah.
your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. It's like we're both playing at the same time.
Right.
Um, I like the way you win. It's super simple and easy. There's just so many things about this game that I think were like brilliantly done. I think people don't realize just how hard that is. Like I think it's so hard to balance a game that well. Like and
Yeah, I
a
think the
whole new
biggest issue is
concept.
like
Like
the cards abilities and things like that. That's where you have the real issues, because you can have like powers, the power level and then the cost level and all that. But yeah, trying to balance certain cards, what they do, and then making sure that there's not too many cards that do like the same thing exactly, you know. I
mhm.
think that definitely is a chore. You know what I mean? That we've seen like Konami, who's like masters at cards. You know what I mean? Like figure like run into people who figure out how to make something brutal, and then they just ban it. Like, oh shit, we didn't mean it to do that or whatever. They still having card problems, but
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So I
it's
just think
definitely pretty
like
cool.
I don't think I can't even name off the top of my head another card game that does it as good as this game does it. Like this game is top notch. Like it's top in the industry. Like there isn't really any too many other games that I can think of. Like, oh wow, this isn't as good as that. Oh wow, I wish it was as good as that. Like I never think in those terms when it comes to this game. Like this game is like I think it's at the top. It's at the top of the bracket when you think of like card game polish.
At
Like
the
it's
same
just
time, though, you don't even really. There's not really that many card games, is there? Like,
yeah, there's a
there's
shit
this
ton
one.
of them.
There's Hearthstone. I'm talking about like from like third party. I mean, from like AAA studios. Like, I don't know too many besides this one
Regardless
and
on if
that
it's
one.
AAA or not. Like this isn't a AAA studio. This is an indie studio.
What is
This
Hearthstone?
game, Second Dinner.
Marvel Snap? I mean, they got a whole. They got it's Marvel on it. They got the Marvel entity behind it. I'm sure they got
Yeah,
enough
but it's
money
an
to be
indie
able to do
studio
it.
that made this game.
Okay.
It's not a AAA studio. Chicken Dinner is a brand new studio. This is the first game they've ever made.
Oh, okay. But they're owned by Marvel, or
No, they're
they're
not
not.
owned by
It's just
Marvel. They
licensed.
they licensed and they were thankful that Marvel took a risk on them. They gave them licensing rights.
Mm. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I liked Monster Train a lot. I thought that that was a fun game. That was another indie game. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great game.
Yeah,
That's why it
like I
made my
mean, think
list.
about like the polish of Monster Train. Like Monster Train is a lot of fun, but look at all the animations and every bit. Every card has like its own unique special look and animation. There's so many more cards. Like Monster Train has a
Hmm.
it's a lot of fun, but it's very limited in the number of cards you have. Um, I don't know. This game just like to me when I think of all the card games I've played. Um, it's
Hmm.
just as it's just the polish is a cut above. I don't think you can get. I don't think you can do much better than what they did with this game. So to me, it's just a brilliant game. So I think Marvel Snap's a brilliant game. I think it deserved uh, mobile game of the year. Absolutely
Hmm.
deserved it. And yeah, I wouldn't have put it like I would have put it higher. But once again, like there's some games in my list that I think are like, of course, just going to be really good and better than this, right?
Yeah.
You can all think of one right off the bat, right? Very few games in history were better than this one game we're talking about in our minds. So I can't put it higher on some of these situations, because as good as this
Uh-huh.
is, it's still not that good, right? So,
Right. Right.
anyways, so
Okay.
that's my number five, man. What's your number five?
That's number five. Okay. Yeah. So my number five is Pokemon Arceus. I enjoyed playing that one a lot. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed playing that one a lot. I thought that they did a lot of things that we were looking um, for a Pokemon game. They definitely took it like another step forward. The that little wild Outlands or whatever that they did with Sword and Shield was cool, but this one, just took it like one step forward. Um, although I didn't get a chance to play Scarlet and Violet, but I do feel like they reverted back to some of their old ways in Scarlet and Violet with how certain things were like, not allowing you to creep up on a Pokemon and just throw a ball like they did in Arceus. But that was some of the stuff that I loved about Arceus. It was just that, it didn't have the gyms and the other little challenges and stuff, so the battling systems or whatever against other opponents and whatnot. But other than that, I thought it was a really fun game. I was definitely enjoying playing it and then finishing the story and whatnot. So
Mhm.
that was my number five.
Yeah, Pokemon Legend Arceus was really cool. It was really neat. I like how they changed the direction of the franchise. I like how they made Pokemon Violet. Basically, they ran with it. They took
Hmm.
the successes and ideas from Arceus and applied it to a real Pokemon game. I just thought that Arceus. So I think it's worthy being on your list for those reasons. Pushed the it pushed the Pokemon genre forward in
Right.
ways that no other Pokemon game has done. I just had some issues with some of the gameplay things with Pokemon Arceus,
Like what?
um, but just there wasn't a lot of depth there. I wanted trainer battles. I wanted more of a world, more other characters. I
Right.
like all that stuff. So because that stuff was
Yeah.
missing for me, um, it wasn't quite like game of the year top 10 for me. But I do
Uh-huh.
agree with you like on a lot of the points you made about like how it pushed the genre forward and changed the way Pokemon's played. I agree with all that
Yeah,
for
it's just
sure.
like when you look at all the Pokemon games, they all have like the same type of vibes, and this was just one that was a little bit different. I mean, it kind of switched things up, and yeah, I agree with you. Them not having like the trainer battles, and becoming a champion or whatever, was one of those things that it was definitely missing. But they had a lot of cool stuff on the sides too, like the different legendary, uh Pokemon that you could ride, and then utilize those in the different ways, and just all that stuff, But Pokemon
Yeah.
is
Thought
a
it was a
good
little
game, so
wordy too. We talked about how annoying the dialogue was in that game. Like it was just like terribly annoying.
I
Um,
think I think all Pokemon games are annoying because they don't use any voice acting. I feel like we are so past not having voice acting, but then I have to look back at like what first party Nintendo Switch games are there that actually use a voice? I don't think any of them do. And I don't know the reason for that. I don't know if it's just because like the speaker that the Switch has is like not great for audio or something like that. It's just great for music. It's not great for voices or what. I don't know. Or maybe they just don't want to pay a damn dollar to any voice actors for any of their first party games. But I don't recall not one having an actual like sentences, not just grunts and who's and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, they never do voice acting. I mean, yeah, I totally agree. Like we're past that. But this one was like even particularly more wordy.
After a certain point, you just mash through everything because it doesn't matter. Like I'm just, but I just want to go out there and I want to hunt these Pokemon. I want to hide in bushes, throw balls. Get lucky.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I want to get out there already. It's like enough of this already, dude.
Yeah.
So Pokemon Arceus. My bad. I didn't switch over to Pokemon Arceus. All right. So my number 4 then, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Number 4 for me. Number 4 was Vampire Survivors.
Wow. Vampire Survivors got up there, huh? Okay.
Yes. I really liked Vampire Survivors, obviously. It being high on my list here. I never this year this game probably gave me the most laugh out loud like experience like than any other game did. Like I was just like blown away and shocked by like the total sheer number of what was going on the screen, and like no other game kind of gave me that experience. I was like laughing out loud. It was so crazy. So like I really for me, it's like I got to consider that like this game was like it gave me that a feeling that no other game gave me, right? Where I'm just like, what is going on? Where I was kind of like losing my mind. It was like so intense and crazy that feeling and experience was like so profound and different that I was like I can't not reward that. In my game of the year when no other game did that for me, but this game, like it kind of came out of left field too. Cause like I wasn't quite expecting this game to basically shock me like it did. And like, I didn't get shocked until I kind of figured out how to kind of like actually play it. Like initially I was a little bit, this is a really cool game, but it wasn't like blowing me away. But when I figured out like how to level up my abilities, like how to evolve them and change them to make them like the superpower versions of what the abilities were, like that was so much fun and so interesting. I figured out like what it meant to do like a build, and then just seeing like how devastatingly strong you can get. Like no other game gave me that feeling, and I was really hooked on it. It was so much fun. I played it for hours on end. And just how well they were able to make a game, basically, you almost don't do anything. You basically just move your character around, and they made a game super engaging, super exciting, so much fun to collect experience. I was blown away by how they were able to do that with such a simple concept. And you can see just how awesome it was by how many clones it sprung up from this. Like there are so many Vampire Survivor clones. They're all just trying to chase what these guys invented. Like I just think like this game was incredible. It's brilliant. It's the simplest idea. Anyone can play it. Anyone can have fun with it. And I want to play more like this. Like I can't wait for the next clone. I see like a lot of clones out there of Vampire Survivor, and this one just like it does it better than any other one does, so so yeah, that's where I'm at, man.
Yeah, that's interesting. Vampire Survivors. Yeah, like I said, it was one of those that could have made like my number 10 as opposed to like Marvel Snap or whatnot. I could have probably taken one of those other ones off of there, maybe put it on there. I do enjoy the game. It's fun to play. The first introduction I had to anything like that was Survivor.io. That's what I had told you about, and
Yeah.
that one couldn't have made my list just because it's like 2 years old. So it came out sometime in like 2020 or something like that.
Well, Vampire
So
Survivor came out before Survivor.io, but it was in early access. So Vampire
uh,
Survivor just launched its real game launch in 2022. So
well, it
Vampire Survivor
says,
has been out for a long time.
well, I looked it up and it said March 31st, 2021. Is that not the date?
No, that's not the date.
Its initial release date?
No.
Okay, so when did it actually release then? You're saying it actually released this year? Or like when was the
Yes.
beta date?
Let me see if I can.
It says the beta launched in 2021. And then it dropped on Steam on October 20th of 2022.
Yes. October 20th, 2022. That
But
was
its
when it
beta
released.
launched in 2021,
But beta
right?
launched in 2021, yes. And it was in
Yeah.
early access before that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm trying to see. I can't even tell when Survivor dropped for me. It doesn't give me like a an actual date. It just says 2 years ago when I checked it out. But anyways, the first one that I saw like that, with where it's pure mayhem on the screen or whatever, and all you had to do was just move your guy around was Survivor.io for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw that, I played the crap out of that game. Like I loved that game. And then it got to the point where I had like all of the abilities and stuff like that, like that you could access, and so it got boring after a while just because I didn't have anything to do. But what's nice about that one is that they've constantly been updating it and whatnot over the time. So there's like new weapons and different things like that they've put on there and whatnot. What I did like about Vampire Survivors is that they had all of this stuff that you could see and unlock. So it's all there. They're not going to add anything new to it that I know of, unless they maybe do updates. But I don't know if they do or not. But you have all these things that you can unlock. So you just play the different characters, or you play the certain time limits that is required or whatever, and then you unlock more of the abilities available for you to access and play with and whatnot. So it's definitely been one of those games that I'll BS with, when I don't have anything else going on or whatever, and just see how long I can last. There's certain, like I was saying before, there's certain areas, man, where I can't last long, and it's just frustrating. Like I feel like I need to unlock more stuff, so maybe I should go back to some of those first areas and check things out. I've already maxed out every single power up that I could possibly buy right now, so it'll just be about unlocking other power ups to see what comes. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a good choice. Vampire Survivors is a good game. So yeah. So for my number four, um, I have one of my favorite games of this year. It's Naraka. Naraka's my number four right now. So I've been playing Naraka, since it came out, and it's like literally the only battle royale type of game that I even fuck with, that I even deal with. I had Call of Duty, Cold War, and whatnot, but I just didn't play it nearly as much as Naraka. And so it was just something about it where it was primarily melee as opposed to ranged, that I found really appealing. You know what I mean? Because it's really about putting in the right combination of buttons to be able to end somebody in a swift enough time. And they've added small things over the time, but right now it's kind of gotten dead for me. That's why I wouldn't go any higher for me than 4. Just because like I don't necessarily have an interest anymore in playing it, because it's just not enough not they're not adding enough new things to keep me interested.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they added one new character, and then they added a new map, and I was like, oh great, you know what I mean? But after a while you play the shit out of that map, or you don't really care for the character, you know what I mean? So then it's like you've done what you can do, and the only thing now is to play your ass off and try to make it to the top of the boards. I know I'm not built for that life. I did manage to get Hall of Fame for 2 characters once, but like I'm not I'm not entering in competitions and stuff like that. I don't have nearly enough time to be able to play it like that to do that. But kudos to those people who grind super hard, and the dudes who were in the top really knew how to fucking use those characters. Like they could do shit. You'd be like, holy fuck! Like I want to. What character is he playing? Because I need to go and get that character. Because the way he just maxed me out in seconds, like I need to figure that out. But
Right.
yeah, so I had a lot of enjoyable fun. Just like how Survivor, Vampire Survivors gave you like those laugh out loud moments and things like that, man. There was a lot of things that were exciting about Naraka, that I loved, and I might eventually get back into it, like when the next season happens, just to see like if they add anything new, maybe they add a new map or a new character or something like that. But yeah, for now I've been chilling on it. I haven't played it in like probably like most of December. I didn't play it at all. So for right now, it's on ice for me. But yeah, so Naraka, man, that one had to make it, right? I always talked about that shit.
Yeah, and that's the Xbox release, right? Because I think this was like a couple years old. This game came out. But the Xbox release
was it?
recent.
Because no, the actual yeah, it was on PC. But yeah, so the Xbox release of when it hit consoles, that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah.
I believe that it was this year that it came out on console.
Nice. Yeah, I know you love Naraka, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, dude. Number 3. Let's move on.
Number Trey.
Let's see. My number 3 game this year. Well, you've already mentioned it, was Tunic.
Oh, okay.
Tunic
all right.
Was my number 3.
Tunic is high up there. You finished Tunic all the way?
Yeah, I finished Tunic.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I didn't collect every single page.
No, I mean not like 100% of it, but you finished the storyline and all that.
Yeah, I finished the storyline.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's
so I explored the whole world. I did everything I could. Yeah, once again, I just think Tunic is like an incredibly well-polished indie game. I don't know how you get games like this even more polished than this. If this is what the game's trying to be, I feel like the developers just like nailed it. I mean, it's just like at peak polish. The game has just got like Marcus mentioned, the intrigue of like Zelda, Link's Awakening, and like they capture that. They also got their cool little aspect where you're collecting the manual as you play, which is like super interesting and intriguing. You're always excited to get a new page, to learn something new. So you kind of like learn the game as you play the game. The art style, super neat. Yeah, I had so much fun exploring this world. Once again, like Marcus said most of it when he mentioned on his list, but I just think like I just think about these games and I think just how hard they are for like an indie developer to make them, and to just make them so beautiful and so well polished where like I can't really find any flaws in like the gameplay development, that I can't help but just be in awe of these types of games. And so that's why it's so high on my list, because I just see like the beauty and effort and work that like this small studio, I don't even know how many people, it could just be a few dudes, and like they built this game, and like I'm just blown away by it. The storyline's super unique, the combat's super fun. I just these types of games are like the kind of games like that make me love gaming, you know,
Yeah,
because like these are the kind of games that aren't the big AAA studios, but they still pull you in all the same. Like how an indie developer can do that with less always never ceases to amaze me. So Tunic is the top of that list for me this year. Of all the indie games that I played, I think Tunic is the best of those. Um, you know, that's why it's number 3 for me.
gotcha. Okay, that's what's up. All right, so yeah, Tunic is a good pick, man. That's it's super high up there on your list, so I see why.
Yeah, it's good. Good stuff.
Yeah. So for my number 3, it's actually High on Life. So so like I said, I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? It was one of those that like I was looking forward to playing some more of it and whatnot. You know, and just
Nice.
like with it's kind of like one of those things where you know how like certain things have like a shit ton of repetition in it. Certain things just say things to say things or whatever. You know, you have like for instance, all right, this is like off like side topic though. Forspoken, you know the demo came out, right? Did you try the demo out?
No, I never played the demo.
Okay, all right. So the demo has a lot of the shit that we feared it had.
I figured it would. I knew it would. I knew it would.
So, all right. So you know, like the gibbering that she does and stuff like that, where she's always talking and things like that.
I do that shit now.
Yeah. I do that shit now. Yeah,
all that junk.
So she does that. She does it. She does it, but here's the catch though. She's not talking to herself. She's talking
amulet, right?
to this little fucking bracelet that's on her hands. That somehow, I don't know because it's part of the story or whatever, but there's an entity inside of that bracelet. And so she's talking to that bracelet. But I mean, I'm telling you, if there's not a button that says mute this bitch or like minimize the chatter, it's going to get really annoying. Other than that, it's a really fun game.
This is why I said from the very beginning. You remember when I first saw the first real trailer of what's it called again? Forspoken. Yeah. When I first saw the first real trailer of Forspoken, I freaking did not like it. I went back because all that chatter was so cringe. Then I went back, I muted it, and I'm like, this is a damn cool looking game.
Yeah.
Don't you remember when I said that? I said I muted it. When I put it on mute, I thought the game was awesome. And now I feel like that prophecy has come to fruition.
Yeah, it's literally like that. But it's like, you know, like the abilities and the combat and stuff like that is cool to use, and you know, and it's fast and you're going and whatnot. But it's like they're killing it because okay, I got you. The Bengal has a mind of its own. It talks and shit like that. But it just be saying shit.
I'm playing right here. This is High on Life.
That is, yeah, that's High on Life.
Okay, good. Do the graphics change throughout it, or is it like this Doom type thing?
Oh, that's how it starts. It starts off that the character that you're playing is in his room playing a video game. So he's playing this Doom looking game.
Oh, okay.
And then afterwards he gets interrupted. And then he gets off of his game, and then you're in the world like
real
this.
Gameplay here. Okay, here we go. Here's the real gameplay.
Yeah, so you're in the world like this. So the reason why I was talking about Forspoken or whatever, right, is because you have something else that's constantly talking to you, this weapon or whatever. But what's cool is that they have an actual meter in the settings that if you do not want all the chit-chat chatter, you can reduce that bitch to 0, and the gun won't even talk. Or the gun will talk occasionally. Yes, you can update that. You can play with that as much as you want. But what's crazy is that a lot of times the gun is not repeating the same thing. It's saying different stuff. like
Right.
all the time or in a different way. So it's
Right.
like, damn, that shit makes me think like, how
And
many
it's well
lines
written.
did
And
you?
it's well written. It's
Yeah,
not
like
cringe.
how many lines did you freaking do for these guns? You know what I mean? Like when you go to kill somebody, it's like, whoa, geez, take it easy, psychopath. You know, when it's somebody you can't kill,
Uh-huh.
or like, no, we're not gonna kill this one. You know what I mean? Not yet, or something like that, or whatever. You know, but there's like a reaction to a lot of your actions, so it's literally like, you know what I mean? It's intuitive. It's really intuitive, and like the Forspoken Bangle, it talks some, you know, and says things, but it says like the 4 or 5 lines that it has, and it just repeats it. It just rinses and repeats it.
Right.
She could be like, "Woo, I need a break. That was tough." And
And
then
it's
you
really
do
generic
something,
cringe stuff like that.
yeah, and then you do something small, and she'll be like, "Woo, that was a lot," or he'll be like, "Oh, that was a lot for that little bit. You think you could do more, or something like, you know, something dumb? You know, it'd be like dumbass shit." And then be like, "Why is this fucking thing talking right now? Like that didn't call for it." And it'd be like every time you fuck up an animal, it's like, "Whoa, you just getting some extra exercise in." Yeah, I want to keep my senses strong or some shit like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, why the fuck are you talking? It was gonna attack me. I'm attacking it. Like it doesn't need the extra dialogue to it or whatever. But I like this because it's got those quirky things about it, and you can shut those things off if you want. It's got a lot of interesting things. All of those guns have a bunch of different sentences and things like that you'll come across.
Mm-hmm.
And like you come across random things in the world, and you would think like, oh, it'll like eventually run out of stuff to say, and some of them do, but there's a lot of them that they'll just keep going, man. I remember I went into this one area, and it was like a little beaten, like off the side path type of thing. So I'm like, oh, I'll check it out, you know. So I go over there, and I go over there, and immediately some little like a head, you know, with like a hovercraft body, kind of looks like Mordor. I'm trying to think. That the mutant from Marvel. That's supposed to be like the new like big guy after Kang or whatever. Mondo or Mordor or something like that. I don't know. It's like a big brain or something. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
he's like floating around, and so he just starts talking to you, like, "Hey, how's it going? You know, glad you came up here. You know, just talking and shit." So like, I shoot at him, you know what I mean? Because he was doing too much. And then he disappears and he's like, ha ha, you thought you could got me, but I'm too quick, you know, whatever. And then he's like, but anyways, as I was saying, you know, and then he starts talking some more shit. And he's like really got an annoying voice. And he's just like pestering you. And you can keep shooting. Oh, you'll never hit me. You're wasting your time. You know what I mean? He'll just disappear and all that stuff. And
Uh-huh.
then like you know, but like what he's saying is not repeated. He's literally telling you some long ass obnoxious story about his day or something like that. You could stay there and it just keeps going. Like he just keeps being more annoying and annoying as the time goes by. And then when you get out of the area, he's like, "Oh well, I guess that took a little bit quicker than I thought it would. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and leave you alone." And he just disappears or whatever. But you know, you come across like all of these little random things that give you like that, but there's the randomness, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like some of the stuff is funny, you know, and there's some things that you can try, and you know, certain things work, some things don't, you know. A lot of some instances are scripted in a sense, but then you know, it's like they had like the different random stuff for like, you know, if it could have played out 3 different ways, they got all that written down, so you know, you can try it in different ways and whatnot. But
Right.
I just really had a lot of fun, have been having a lot of fun with this game, and I do look forward to getting back into it. I did take like a small hiatus break from it because I was trying to go through more of the story of God of War and get more play of God of War before we talked about our top 10
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. But so I can know, you know, whether I wanted to add it or didn't want to add it, or whatever level it might be, whatever, for the list and stuff. Okay, thank you, baby.
All right, man. So that's number 2.
But yeah, so yeah, number 2, man.
I'm curious if it's the same. Mine's God of War. Was yours God of War?
Nah, mine's is Elden Ring, dude. My number
Shut
2
up,
is Elden
man.
Ring.
Shut up. You'd be the biggest freaking liar of all time, dude. If you said that. If you said Elden Ring number 2.
Yeah, I totally think
dude.
that God of War should have won Game of the Year, only being a month out. Before the voting system, like God of War should have definitely won over Elden Ring. Elden Ring is shit compared to God of War.
Anyways, are you God of War for number 2?
Yeah, I'm God of War for number 2, man.
I figured we could just both do this. Like, so God of War is my second best game this year. I mean, the game obviously is freaking incredible, right? Like, every character is brilliant. Every character is voice acted brilliantly. The story is engaging. The story is interesting. You care about these characters. The combat is freaking top notch. It's just too much fun. And the exploration is great. And in my opinion, I think God of War Ragnarok does side quests better than any other game I've ever played. Like, the side quests are so engaging and meaningful. Like, they have an impact on the world. I don't know. I just really, really like the way God of War does their side quests. I think that they took the time. They didn't just make them fetch quests like, hey, go collect this, go collect that. It's just like they're impactful. It matters to the characters. The characters care. You care about what you're doing on a freaking side quest. Right? Like, so I just think they said, we're not going to do that. We are the developers of Santa Monica Studio, like, we're not going to make our side quest mundane. We are going to take the time and we're going to put the effort in, and the acting and the story of the side quest is going to be meaningful to the player. Right? So, like, I just feel like God of War nailed that. The reason why I don't think this game could ever be number 1 versus clearly we will talk about in a minute, Elden Ring, is because they didn't do anything different than 2018. Like, this is essentially God of War 2018 with a new story, a few new aspects, but really it's just they didn't reinvent the wheel like they did in 2018. Like, if this is the first time we'd ever seen this, like, let's say this was God of War 2018, I'd be really pressed, honestly, to say if this is Game of the Year or Elden Ring's Game of the Year, even though I think I would still pick Elden Ring. But then it would be much more difficult because it's just basically God of War 2018. They've already kind of reinvented God of War in 2018. Yeah. They didn't do that here. I can't see why I can ever make this Game of the Year over Elden Ring. If Elden Ring
that's true.
It's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you had came across this type of a God of War this year, and it was the first time, and it hadn't been done before, this would be amazing, because this is like, this is a great fucking revamp. Right. Of the God of War series and whatnot. But yeah, because it's like, we got this already, and it's just continued on in that same fashion. It's still really good. I mean, one thing you can't shake is that the God of War stories are really good. You know what I mean? And this has been a great continuation of a story with Kratos and his son Atreus. You know what I mean? So it's something that I definitely look forward to playing and finishing, so that I can see the end of the story and whatnot. And I think that they did change the side quests. Like, they actually made them like side quests, and they gave them markers and things like that with like a mini map HUD and all that stuff. So they did change a couple of things from the 2018 version. And I like the changes. But, like, as you said, certain things didn't change, like the weapons and stuff. That's one of the kind of things that I miss. Like, that freaking crazy ass sword and shield and things like that they had from like the last God of War before the 2018 God of War. That type of stuff was dope, because you had all these different weapons to choose from and things. But now you're kind of at like, just the Swords of Chaos and your axe, and maybe like one other thing, I don't know, because I haven't gotten there. But you got the shield and stuff like that. So I guess the shield is kind of like another weapon to use, because you can fight with that. Yeah. But if you got fisticuffs, you're hitting with your shield and whatnot. But yeah, so I because we both think that this is like number 2 game, like, it really takes a high caliber of a game to be able to beat something like this. You know what I mean? If there was perhaps a Naughty Dog game that came out this year alongside of this, um, or something else, you know what I mean? Like it would have been like a tough call.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
would
I
be
mean? There would
really
have been more
surprised
battles.
if even Starfield would have been better than this, right? Because this is so good. This is like pinnacle of gaming in our generation, right?
Yeah.
Like the games may get better in the future, but where we're at right now, like
Hmm.
games do not get better than like this. This is kind of like the peak,
Hmm.
right? And so like you can't really compare it to too much else. Why Elden Ring is better is because it pushed the genre forward, right? It's pushing our generation of gaming forward. This isn't. It did in 2018 to some degree, but this here, what we have here
Yeah,
in
it pushed
Ragnarok,
it
didn't.
pushed the God of War franchise
Right.
forward.
They pushed the God of War franchise
Yeah.
forward in all the right ways. Like they
Hmm.
didn't make any mistakes here. Like in all the right ways, it's better. So, but we didn't. That's not what this is. This is just God of War 2018 2.0. Right? It's just like the same
Right.
thing kind of over again, which isn't bad because it was so brilliant then. And I love every minute of the game I'm playing here.
Hmm.
I mentioned in the earlier of the beginning of this podcast how I'm not a fan of how they make you go back and retrace an entire zone you've already retraced. Like I've already nook and crannied it. I don't want to nook and
Yeah.
cranny it again. Like I don't want to do that again. That's gonna be tedium. That's gonna burn me out. Right. So that's my biggest complaint with this game is
Hmm.
forcing you to nook and cranny like multiple times. I want to nook and
Yeah.
cranny once. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the zone. I nook and crannied it. I had so much fun, but I don't want to do that again. Like why are you doing that? That's so dumb. You
Yeah,
know? So
even it might be a little different if like they had something where you could look at the map and you see all of the things that you found, all the locations that you found, so you can go specifically to that spot for this icon on the map, and then do that side quest or whatever. But yeah, if I gotta like, I would have just I would like it if I could just go through that entire realm or whatever, and then like maybe at some point in time, maybe 75% through that realm, I get the item that I needed to unlock that thing that I saw earlier. But I've never
yeah,
left that realm, so I can go back because I
that
remember
I
it.
would
It was
agree with.
still fresh on my
I would
mind,
agree with that method, right?
Yeah.
Or like in Metroidvania games, when you get a new ability, you can go back to where that was, and you actually go there, and it opens up a whole new part of the map, right? Like it's a whole new section of the map to explore. Like, oh, I'm in the clock tower now. I couldn't
Oh,
get to the
okay.
clock tower until I got these boots that let me do double jump, right? Like that,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But like, I have to go back and like, there's certain things, like for instance, there's these bushes I couldn't burn before, but now I got this ability that can burn them. I don't remember where those freaking bushes were. Like I
Yeah.
gotta go back and I gotta hunt the whole map again to find out where that one bush was that I couldn't burn before. Like that's not fun. Like that's not cool. Like that's I don't want a double nook and cranny. Like that's all I'm saying. Right? Like if there's a new
Yeah.
zone I can go unlock, then okay, that's cool. But making me go and find like a little bush I couldn't burn before that I can now, right? Or a freaking chest that I couldn't open now I can because I got this. I don't want that. Like that, I don't want. Please make everything in this zone attainable at the current gear set that I'm at. Like you were saying, make it all
Hmm.
attainable at the current gear set I'm at, or give me what I need in this zone to unlock so I can enjoy the zone and then be done with the zone. That's like
Right.
my only real complaint with this game. Otherwise, it's brilliant in everything it's done. I love it. Like the writing is so well done. Like I feel like I've gained wisdom by playing this game. Right? Like the lessons you learn in this game about being like a father, about being a son, about I swear, like it's so well written. It doesn't get political. It stays real, down to earth, like all of us in our life live. I gotta. It's so good. It's so good that if like we said, if Ragnarok wasn't out, or like you said, if there was some other game like Naughty Dog, then you might have a conversation. But otherwise, there isn't really, like you said, any conversation. This is the pinnacle of gaming in every sense of the word, in writing, in gameplay, in environment, in progression. It's the best. It just has the one flaw of having a nook and cranny twice that I don't like. Otherwise, it's great.
Hey,
And
you know one thing?
than
Go
what it
ahead,
did
what?
in 2018.
Huh?
And it hasn't innovated from what it did in 2018. Those are like the only two flaws it really has.
Right, right.
Otherwise, it's flawless.
One thing that kind of made me mad. All right, you remember when you were on the trolley train? After talking to Dylan or whatever, and you had to take those little dwarf trains to get to those other areas.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so the second train, when that shit derails, and then there's that big troll that grabbed the train, and you come out, and Kratos just fucks that troll up real quick.
Yeah. I'm like, why isn't it that easy in real life?
Upset.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I was upset that
I'm
I cannot just
God, right?
I can't just regularly cleave these other small peon guys that are way less than this dude that take more hits. Like, I didn't have to press no button mash or nothing. He just took that fucking head off. One swipe, he took the tusk off. Another swipe, he was taking the head off. Yeah, it was just like, damn.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, why am I beating on these other small guys so long? But this guy was taken out in a cutscene. You know what I mean? Like, why? Where's that pure strength?
That was a total mistake. And
I feel like it
makes the most sense because you're a freaking God of War. Who are these guys? These blue dudes. I should be able to tear their head off.
Yeah,
like you're saying, right? Like I should just be able to tear their head off, man. Like, but I gotta sit there and hack at these dudes. They take like 4 or 5 hits from a god. It's like,
I feel like
stupid.
Yeah, I feel like the scenes that happen when you hit the right thumbstick to cleave through somebody's fucking chest and their head and all that stuff and tear them, dismember them and all that should be regular hits with the axe. You should be taking swipes and taking off limbs and stuff. They shouldn't be needing 6 to 8 hits. You know, having to parry them in the air and stuff like that. You know, just to kill them. Like you should be taking off limbs when you're hacking down at these guys with the pure raw strength that you apparently have. It's like you're playing with them or something like that, you know? That's the only thing. I feel like he should be showing more strength than what they do because they show the strength that he has, you know, when he's moving these rusted doors and things like that, you know, and opening up these things and lifting up all this heavy shit. And then he's you know, taking out trolls, you know, with like a couple of swings. You know what I mean? Like that's that raw strength that we should be seeing.
That kind of bothers me as well. Is like you probably haven't seen too many, but when other gods make an appearance, like they seem like they're stronger than you.
Oh yeah, that battle with Thor was freaking wicked, man.
Yeah, that was like you're just kind of like, dude, am I still a god or am I just like a strong man now? And it's hard for me to kill gods now because I feel like. Why doesn't it feel like we're that way, right? It's a problem that this game has because they don't want to make it a joke, right? Because you're a god, so they want to make it a fight. But at the same time, you come across other beings that are supposed to be gods like you, and they just seem like way stronger, right? Like you'll see what I'm talking about as you get further in the game too. You're gonna be like, damn.
I saw this dude. Yeah, I saw how Thor was manhandling me the whole time, and then. Like the fight just stopped. I didn't kill Thor. You know what I'm saying? He just dipped. You know?
Yeah, and it was like I was only able to compete with him when I was in,
rage mode. Yeah.
And it's like that's not my more normal mode. That's like a 5 seconds. I get that for 5 seconds. That's
I get that for a moment.
This happening, right?
It's like, oh shit, I need this all the time just to be able to beat him. Like, I don't think they got an infinite mode.
Dude, I am not enough.
Yeah, so that's what's crazy about it. But yeah, man, I just thought that was like just funny, and I was like, damn, like that should just be how it is, you know. I also thought it was funny that little comedic moment or whatever for me, when Atreus was telling you to put that train back on the track, and he's like, all right, move it to the left. All right, move it to the right. Oh shoot, I meant my left. Like he moves to the other side. He's like, go that way. You know what I mean? I kept fucking with like, come on, man. And they wouldn't even let me look down at the track to see if I was literally lined up right. But I was pretty sure that I was lined up the first time. but yeah, man. So I've been enjoying the game. I think it's great as a number 2 pick. like I said, more than likely, if the number one pick had not come out this year,
Right.
it'd have been, it'd have been a wrap. Like this would have been number one. It would have won all of the awards
Totally.
and everything
I
else.
agree.
But it's just unfortunately they decided to wait until the ass end of the year. They could have just saved this bitch for 2023 and it fucking wrapped everything up. Yeah, it might have to compete a little bit with Hogwarts Legacy, but
yeah,
I don't see it competing with Starfield. I don't have that much faith in Bethesda's Starfield with this.
All right,
one.
man, we gotta get this done.
Yeah, man. So last one, number one, of course, it's Elden Ring. You knew it. I knew it. We knew it before we even started this podcast. Like it was destined to be number one. It's just a good fucking game. It's just a great fucking game. Like you don't need to say much else.
Good is an understatement.
Yeah, man. Good is an understatement. It's a great game. It's just so much to explore here. It's so much to do here. It's so much of a challenge. It makes you feel accomplished as you go through it. There's so many things that you can totally miss. And it's just too much. It almost feels like you're peeling back a layer every time you play because you missed something before. You know what I mean? So I just think that, the way people have played with these, to create these different builds and different things like that, there's so many unique weapons. And it's just like there's so much armor and gear that you may have found or may not have found, that if you found it, it would work with this piece. This dumbass weapon could then become a really powerful tool or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just so versatile and it's polished. It looks beautiful and there's voice acting. And it's just too much good stuff to say about it. I think From Software has perfected boss battles. They know how to make it tough, but also doable. They know how to make it feel really, really fucking rewarding. It's not too many games that just get my heart pumping when I'm in a battle, but this is one of them fucking games where it's like, shit, man, I need a break. I need a cup of water after that because that was tough. I felt like I was in that bitch dodging and rolling and shooting spells and different things like that, But it's just a masterpiece, a superb game.
Yeah, what this game does is what's mind-blowing is that I feel like From Software, they've never made an open world game before. And with their very first one, they've shown how to do it. Right? Because there isn't all these side missions. Everything is a mission. Everything is a part of everything. There isn't all these markers. The world itself is the marker. Like you can look out across the horizon and you can see the things you want to go to and do.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be told, go there. You want to go there. Like if I look across the world of like Far Cry, Far Cry is fun. No one's going to deny it's not fun, but the world is so bland. It's so repetitive. Nothing cries out to you that you want to go there. But in Elden Ring, I take a moment and I stop and I look, and there's 100 things out in the horizon that I want to go see, that I want to go do. I don't need to be told I need to go here or go there. I go where I want to go because I want to go there. Like that's what's so brilliant about Elden Ring is they've captured that feeling of exploration that an open world game you think should have. They do it, and they've never made one before. And I'm just always so blown away every moment I played of this game on how much it drew me in. The game drew me in. Right? Like I didn't have to like force myself to play this. It just lends itself to want to be explored. And you're rewarded for that exploration. Like you were saying, like there's so many weapons and so many pieces of gears and spells and abilities to find, and every one of them are like fun to use. You come across like the most fascinating things in the world, like a freaking giant out of nowhere, or a boss comes out of nowhere, and you had like all of a sudden you're in the middle of a boss fight, and you said your palms are sweating, like you're just. And it's not so hard that you can't do it, but it's hard enough that you feel accomplished still when you do it. Every zone is different. It's not just a copy and paste repeat. Like every single zone is different. Like strikingly different. Not just like, okay, I have trees here and then hills here. No, it's like, dude, you have hellfire here and then you have rivers here. It's like
Yeah,
that
and it's not like
different.
yeah, and it's not like you come across like, oh, it's just a mob of enemies or whatever, and they're the same mob, and in a different area. Like these mobs have certain patterns that they're walking. They have certain things that they're doing or that they're waiting for you to do before they'll attack or whatever. Like they're almost on their own doing their own thing, and the moment that you come too close, you know what I mean, you aggravate them and they want to pursue you or whatever, you know what I mean? Like one of the best areas is that windmill area where it's all them crazy bitches just twirling around singing songs.
Yeah, bizarre,
and they're just over there just doing their own thing and they do not care about you. But the moment you fucking kill one, they all turn and they all come at you with everything they got. You know what I mean? And next thing you know, these bitches got big ass weapons that they're busting out and they're trying to cut you the fuck down,
Yeah, and also it's like that it could even surprise you. Like that's late in the game. Like normally by the 10-15 hour mark in these open world games, you've seen every enemy type.
Right.
There's nothing else unique. But all of a sudden you come like, what the heck? They're dancing around. That's strange.
And that's a great thing. Is that
they pull out these massive weapons and start beating you down? It's like, dude, this is so insane. This game.
Yeah, every area has a different enemy type, and then you're not even talking about just the day. You got different shit at night that only come out at night. You'd be like, damn, I crossed this bridge earlier today. Why is there a fucking guy on a horse tonight? Like he should not be here. You know what I mean? I already cleared this area out or whatever. It's like,
and then also it's like
stuff.
You spend like a dozen hours in one zone, and the way they present the map to you, like you come into a new zone, and all of a sudden a whole new entire section like appears on the map from fog, and you're like, dang. You're just like, you're blown away. You're like, dang, there's no way. There's that much more. I've been here this whole time and there's that much more world. And it happens multiple times. That feeling happens like multiple times. It's not just like once. It's like it happens multiple times. There is no better open world game ever made. Even Breath of the Wild is not as good. There's no better open world game than Elden Ring. It is.
Yeah, nothing's touching this because if I look at
what were we gonna say?
I was saying that nothing is touching this because when I look at all of these other games that are open worlds and whatnot, from the top tier games, to the lowest tier, you're populating the world with like a bunch of the same stuff. You know what I mean? It's easy, but you got literally like sections and there's a reason for it. Like you go to the castle area, you're going to see a lot of guys in castle armor because they're the fucking guards there. You know what I mean? When you go inside, you may see servants or different wizards or different things like that. You go out into the wilderness, you're going to see tree people. You know what I mean? And they're going to have different aspects and different ways to fight. But you're never going to come across like, oh, like this is just like the electric version of this normal one over here or whatever. No, he may look like that in certain ways, or you may think that his opening attacks are like that until his ass do some other shit that you ain't seen before, and you're like, oh fuck, like I misjudged him. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's
like,
so
damn,
true.
I thought he was all the same.
Electric version. Oh, that's the purple version of this guy. Like all they do is like change the color, like in these.
Yeah. No, he's just using a different element to attack.
Dude.
No, that's not it. Yeah, he's got a whole different skill set on his shit.
He may look like a prison guard, like the last prison, but he's a whole different spellcaster. Like he's got a whole different set of spells he's going to use against you than this last group of guardsmen did, right? Like it's totally true, man.
Yeah, man. One of the most annoying guys was the Black Knight Tish guys, man. Like they just look like innocent little dudes sitting next to the wall or whatever. But shit, you get close and he gets up. Yes, it's grass.
They all got different move sets.
Yeah. They have some special stuff, man. So that's why Elden Ring it was like by far. I mean, if you could continue, if they put any updates out, I would almost say that it'll be a contender for number one if they give it a DLC next year, because then you could just rate the DLC.
I know people think we're exaggerating, but you can't understand how brilliant this game is. And the
yeah,
boss
man.
fights, I mean, there isn't anything that compares. Like, this is why this isn't just like the game of the year. This is going to be like game of decade. Like, this is the game of the 20s, man, the
Yeah, man.
2020s, like this is so good that there isn't enough time to really describe its brilliance. You kind of just got to play it, and just appreciate it for yourself, and take part in this event of the decade, in gaming.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah, for
is.
sure.
It's just that awesome.
Yeah, I had managed to find God of War Ragnarok on a deal, cuz like there was for some reason there was just like an influx of PS5s with the Ragnarok edition or whatever, where they come with a Ragnarok game in there. So I found a guy on OfferUp. Be ready. Shouts to you. Um he had a digital copy of God of War for like $40. So I was like, bet, like that's a great price. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'll pay for that. So I hit him up. He was like real quick ready. So I popped over there. And then we did the exchange or whatever. And so I was just chatting with him, seeing what he was playing and stuff. And he was talking about, yeah, man, I want to play Elden Ring, and I was like, dude, you got to, like, you have to play it. Like, it's just one of those games that's
Mm-hmm.
like bar none. You know what I mean? Like, it raises the bar. It set it and then it raised it, and it's just the people that want to avoid it just because it's from software and they know the type of shit that that Demon Souls and Dark Souls be on. You know what I mean? They want to avoid it, but it feels so different. You know what I mean?
It
It's
does,
like
man.
it's the same, but it's different. You know what I mean? They just improved in so many things. Like just the fact that you can jump just made the game like,
Well, dude, just
like
just
three
the
times better.
feeling, man, of awe when you're exploring the world. Like, yeah, Dark Souls, like, yeah, the combat, yeah, that's what you
Yeah,
mean when you know Dark Souls. You don't
right.
know Dark Souls like this. This world is just like everything. You can't understand just like how impressive this world is, and each legacy dungeon, like, you can't express it. You have to experience it, right? Like, you will get lost in this world. You will not get enough of it. And you're going to be blown away that it just keeps raising the bar as you're playing. You finish the zone and then you get another zone and you're just as blown away by that zone as the previous zone. No game does that. I'm sorry. No open world game does that. And
Yeah.
I hope that this game changes open world games for the better. That's what we mean by this raises the bar. Like, it doesn't just set it, but it changes open world gaming. And if we're not getting this from future open world games, you're just not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this game is what it is now. And sorry to developers for that, but that is the truth, man. Like, this game, it's so incredible in its open world aspects that I can't believe that From Software did this, having never made an open world game before. Like, seriously, it's that shockingly brilliant.
Yeah, man. It's like that review said, it's a masterpiece. 10 out of
It's a
10.
masterpiece, man. It's a
You know,
masterpiece.
yeah. I think that some people think that, like, a lot of these reviewers or whatever are like exaggerating. Throwing the 10 at it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it can't be that good. It's it's literally that good, man. It's so much stuff. It's just it just rewards that. One of the best things is that it just rewards exploration.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if you explore
Deeply
it,
rewarding.
you're gonna benefit from it. Like, if you forgot to explore that little nook over there, you might regret it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's gonna be nothing over there, on occasion, but more times out of not, it's gonna be something
And
over there that you
and
can
you
reuse.
and you never have a zone figured out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have to constantly creep because you just don't know what to expect. Even if you've been in that zone for the last 2 hours, you
Yeah.
still do not know what you may see, what you may experience, because it's so different as you're playing over 2 hours. Like, it's not just because, like, you're just doing that. No, the game is communicating this to you, that if you don't take your time here, you're gonna get caught, or you're gonna miss something, or you're gonna not see something that you wish you had seen. Right? Like that's just the way the game is communicating. That's why, like you were saying, it's so hard to say. You think you know Dark Souls, but you just don't. Like this game is just doing something that no other game has done. And like even like
Yeah.
this, you think this is the world here. Like you zoom in here on the map, like this is the world. No, this is a fraction of the world.
It's just
Like
a
a
little
new
piece,
part of
man.
the
You
map
can't even
like
see the left and
opens
the right.
up. Yeah, and you're like, what? It's as big as the last one I was just in. There's no way. Yes, way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, that's it though. You know, Elden Ring, that's the number one game, 2022, man. Read them and weep, suckers. That's what it is. So you know, that's WLG's, you know, top 10. We appreciate everybody for stopping by, clicking on this video, joining us on Twitch, whatnot, while we talking through this. But yeah, man, 2023, we got no clue what's in store for that bitch. I can't even like do too much predictions. I know that there's like a solid like maybe 2 or 3 games. One of them is you know, Hogwarts Legacy. That's the one I'm looking forward to playing. I do want to see these other ones that then got pushed back, but they got pushed back so much, man. He don't know where they're gonna
we're
go.
supposed to have like Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2.
You're supposed to have Skull and Bones. You're supposed to have fucking Starfield. It's a couple of other shits.
Hogwarts. I mean, there's so many games that are supposed to be coming out this year that are great,
Yeah.
but like,
and then you could get something like Scorn, you know, which you thought was gonna be ill, and then that bitch just trash. You know what I mean? Like you could come across a lot of those, and you just like, ooh, I'm like waiting for that. Where's it at? And then you get it, and you like, oh shit, take it back. I don't want that.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, we said last year in 2021 that 2022 is going to be like.
Don't say it this year. Don't say it this year.
Gaming. And we can't make that mistake because we don't know what's going to get pushed back or launched because all these games that we were expecting this year got pushed. But I can say that we weren't entirely wrong because Elden Ring was, I think, exceeded even our expectations, and our expectations were high. This game alone made this year a legendary year. This one game here makes this year memorable.
Yeah, I'll tell you another
2022 because that's when Elden Ring came out.
I'll tell you another one that I think would smash the top 5 list for next year if it does release, and that's the one from Ninja. I think it was like Wolong Dynasty or something like that. Yeah, that it was like you know, like an Elden Ring, but like it's Japanese brother or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, if that one comes out next year, that one might smash all the stuff that comes out. You know.
Also, Wukong is supposed to come out next year too, right? Like Wukong.
That one's supposed to come out. That one looks exceptional. You know, but there's a lot of things that we just aren't even sure anymore when they're going to come out.
Wolverine is supposed to come out next year from.
I don't know, man. I ain't seen shit from Wolverine, so I don't know about that coming out. But yeah, I forgot who was doing that one. Wasn't it like Insomniac right? Or something? Oh yeah, maybe it was Sucker Punch.
Wait, no, I think it is Insomniac. Didn't Insomniac do Spider-Man? Whoever did Spider-Man.
Insomniac.
Yeah, so Insomniac's doing that one, which gosh, man, you gotta be excited for that.
But I got a question for you before we go though. Did you ever play Midnight Suns?
I still haven't played that. It's on the list to play.
Like I felt like it was like a good little buzz.
I know. We never played it.
Silent drop.
Yeah, I know.
No, I feel like it did a silent drop. Like the only buzz it had was when they announced it, and then after that, it was just like, oh shit, it's out. And I was like, damn. Yeah, it wasn't even playing. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't going to get it. You know, I'm wondering if they'll put that shit on a Game Pass or something because I feel like that was a quiet drop for a Marvel game.
Definitely, because we were kind of pumped about that one, and they just kind of fell off the wayside, man.
Right. Because it was like an XCOM type of thing or whatever, allow you to put multiple characters and stuff.
Turn-based strategy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Anybody is watching this, let us know in the comments if you played Midnight Suns, if it's even worth it, man. I'll eventually get to it, but yeah, there's just so many games that fell up under my radar. I see that Horizon Forbidden West didn't even make your top 10,
Didn't even make my top 10,
which is
man.
a shame for it to be a first party
Also,
title.
I really enjoy Dying Light 2, and that didn't make my list. You remember how
You
much
know
I talked
what?
about that?
Dying Light 2 didn't make my list only because I didn't play it, but I really wanted to play Dying Light 2. So,
I really
you know,
like
but
Dying Light 2. I beat it. I beat the
yeah,
game all the way to the
okay.
end. So
Yeah,
that
I'm
didn't make
surprised
my
it didn't
top
make
10.
your list. Yeah.
Yeah, Horizon didn't make my list. Horizon just pissed me the heck off, man. Like, I talked about Horizon. Too much words, dude. Too wordy and too hard. I thought it was too hard a game. But yeah, that's
for sure,
Pokemon
man.
Violet didn't make my list.
Did
which
you
I
buy it
did.
though?
Yeah, I enjoyed Pokemon Violet.
Man, I gotta borrow that from you, man. Before
Yeah,
you
so
go and
there's a
trade
few
that
good
bitch in.
games, man, that I really like that didn't make my list. I just go to show you how much I like the games I played this year on my top 10. Like,
for sure, man.
They're really, really good games.
Yeah, there was you know, my plan was a little limited you know, this year. So, you know, I had to make sure that I did my list according to what I played. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's games that I would have added onto the list had I played them.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think that they would have been worthy of that. But I wanted to make it, you know, stuff that I played, not desired to play. You know what I mean? So
That's good. That's a better way. Yeah.
but yeah, so you know, hopefully I can get a hold of those things next year, and then you know, give like some honorable mentions, you know, and talk about some older ones that I thought were great. But yeah, man. So this is the last podcast for the year 2022. We're gonna have another one sometime at the start of the year. I don't know if we're gonna go in, you know, maybe a week or two after. We'll see what's going on with me and Ray's schedule. But yeah, man. So appreciate y'all. And we'll catch you next year. Deuces.
Peace.